What is up, Total Excellence? So tonight, dudes, I am totally honored and blessed to doing this special episode right here of doing this awesome coloring commission. All right, so for tonight, if you all have not bagged or even self-aware of what's going on, we got this awesome character called Sunchild, and dudes, it is rocking, dude. I mean, when I saw this, I'm like, holy guacamoles. Like, everything was hush hush when I was approached this. So I can finally talk about it and freaking work on this, dudes. So, man, oh man. And it could not be any more awesome. And just to be with these two particular people that been with me since I was growing this channel, and it's very special. And I'm going to be introducing each of these individuals. Okay, so pretty much you guys who are in the regulars, let me actually shout out the chat. We got Gingerton here. Sup, dude? Hope you're doing excellent, Ginge. And we got the Juke Joint. I printed mine, gonna color along with you. Oh, sweet, dude. That is excellent. Let me see. I'm following your colors. I have no clue what the color scheme is. Oh, yeah, don't worry, dude. I got, like, a reference for the color scheme. So, we are all gonna follow along with each other within this journey. So, dudes, just bear with me. All right. So, this is a color scheme for this character. All right. So, boom. This is a color scheme, dudes. Pretty psyched. But anyways, let me get back to introducing these awesome creators. And up and coming, too. So we got this up and coming writer who has thought of this character, Sunchild. He has full ownership with this character. And he is part of the Demon Hunter universe for Volume 3. And the only way you can get this 6-page story of Sunchild, if you get the deluxe edition of Demon Hunter Raven, just description down below to follow these awesome creators, as well as just info that I just got off from the Kickstarter as well, dudes. It's just a lot of things is going on with Demon Hunter Raven in the Kickstarter. So this up-and-coming writer, creator-owned, creator. He's also have his own comic that's in the works called Bump Back, and I'm pretty psyched with this dude. You guys know him as the Calvary Collective, and he just always pumping, just spreading positivity in this chat, guys. And he's my mod, so guys, please give him a warm welcome, guys. Paul Tucker, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing all right, Ictus. Thanks for letting me on here, buddy.
Yeah, no, dude, we get to finally, not see your face, but hear your voice.
Like actually talk.
Back thumbnail, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I look like a grizzly bear right now. You don't want to see this.
Oh, okay. Don't worry, dude. It's all right, buddy. All right, so we're gonna introduce this next creator. Okay, this is a creator that pretty much was the sole purpose why Sunchild has existed, as well as a successful series right now with Demon Hunter Raven. If you guys have not backed it since issue 1, I've backed it for issue 2 to catch up. But now we're in volume 3 for Demon Hunter Raven, guys. I mean, I've been excited for this, and I've backed it. But now I want to upgrade my pledge. But for now, dudes, here is a star of the hour. You guys should know him by now. He is a regular here in the show, in the chat as well, just being on the show. I interviewed him. He was in part of the party of the launches and all that good stuff, dudes. Please, everyone, welcome Nicholas Raven Mueller.
Hello.
Woohoo!
Hello, guys. This is fun because you guys are the first two that actually helped me get out in the forefront. Paul right after I did the first Kickstarter. You know, that did moderate, it did mediocre. Paul actually had me on his Instagram. He said, let's work on getting you up in the forefront. Let's have like a one-on-one session. And that guy did like a fantastic job. And so I owe him a lot actually for getting me out there and helping me get presentable and talking about stuff. And then Ichthus, you also helped me get out into the forefront with your first interview of me when like the day of the launch for the last Kickstarter. Like that was a huge launch party. So I kind of feel like overall this is kind of like a cool send, like a recall back to a lot of those moments that like you guys helped me out. Now I want to give something back to you guys as well. So
full
this is
circle,
cool.
baby.
Yeah, full circle. Full circle.
Well, we can't say a circle because we're a triangle.
Yeah.
You know?
Fun fact: I almost wasn't let out of preschool because I couldn't draw a triangle. So you know, it's all a circle to me.
Who needs to draw a triangle nowadays? I mean, what does that do? I mean, we all in circles or squares. So
what even is math? You know, does it exist?
Does anybody use algebra nowadays? Is that still a thing?
Well,
not at my school.
Oh no. It's an inside joke, guys. If you know Paul Tucker, you guys will understand real quick. Oh man, now I gotta catch on the chat because everyone's typing claps enthusiastically.
What's Paul's clapping enthusiastically?
Paul
right
is
there.
clapping enthusiastically. How is he doing this?
It's a silent.
Yeah.
It's a silent majority.
Golf claps. Let me see. Juke Joint says, I'm doing the Arsenio Hall fist bump. Ooh, that's pretty fancy stuff. Ooh.
I remember that. I'm old enough to remember that.
I'm not. I think how it looked like it's the new name of it is called a fist bump. That one I know.
Yeah. But it was a wave your hand up and go whoop, 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 whoop. You know, like, hey.
We got My Pickles here. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. And it's Bill Jersey. Speaking of, down in the comments.
Oh, shoot. Here we go.
It is the very man who illustrated this piece tonight.
Yeah, let's actually showcase this bad boy right here. Well, not that one.
Yeah, that's me.
That one's Nick. This one is the one we're looking at.
And that turned out fantastic. That has been a wonderful thing to look at. And that will be prominently inside the book. Once you get up to the Untitled chapter, you'll hit that page first, and then you'll go into the story. So it will be fun to have that on view and everything. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, dudes. And we got what the heck happened? There you are. We got the Flock comic. What is up, Total Excellence? I'm doing excellent, dude. How are you doing? So, enough of my jibber jabbering, okay, dudes?
Jibber jabber.
Y'all gonna still see my beautiful face on this tablet here.
There you go.
All right. So we're gonna do it different, okay? So usually on my live streams, whenever I do coloring, I usually vanish, and here we are. But since now we're doing something different, I'm gonna be interviewing while I'm coloring at the same time. So this is going to be quite interesting. So, yeah,
I got to ask, how do you set it up where you have one camera already streaming, but then you've got the Clip Studio also at the same time streaming? Like, how do you do both at the same time? Because they're obviously two different
witchcraft.
Which is actually in the Demon Hunter Raven book. It's witchcraft heavy this time. Yeah. It's not demons, it's witches. So
witches.
Always has been.
Yeah, so what happens is I click share. Well, I gotta stop the screen, but I click share screen, and then I go to application window, and that's when I can see like StreamYards and Clip Studio.
Oh, so you're just sharing it from the okay, that makes more sense then. Oh, okay.
And then bam, magic.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was trying to figure out how to do that for Patreon videos in the future, and I was like, I can't figure this out. That makes more sense.
Yeah, Bill Jersey says, no pressure. Oh, definitely not, Bill, since, I don't want to tarnish this beautiful piece. That's the thing, too, with colorists, man. It's like, with colorists, is like, it's either a one and done. Either it's good, or they just like it in black and white. because now they feel like the color just tarnishes its it tarnishes the art. So
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So enough of my jibber jabbering. Let's have you guys jibber jabber. So how did Sunchild became within existence within the Demon Hunter universe?
You want to go first or me, Nick?
Well, I'll just only give context here that Paul, you must have been sitting with this idea for pretty long, because I can't imagine how you suddenly came up with that many detailed ideas and that thorough of thoughts that quickly. So I'd love to hear from your perspective how this all came down. Because for me, it was just a message, and I was like, yeah, I like this. Let's go with it. So
yeah. So just like I told you this campaign, I think I might have also mentioned it last campaign, that no matter what your highest perk was, I was going to back you because I wanted to support you and be there for you. And also just for killing two birds with one stone is just a great opportunity to get a chance to work with you.
Right.
And so as soon as I did it, I started just thinking about it, and the two great words coming together for a beautiful combination of battle hippie just kept popping in my mind. And what that might mean in not just a joking sense, but just in a good story sense. And this whole sort of mythology and lore just started coming together in my head of the kids and the cult and stuff that I'm sure we'll be talking about later on. But it all just came together from my lovely sort of method of what is a dumb idea and how awesome can we make it.
I love that.
That's awesome.
So then Sunchild was born. Go
ahead and just kind of tell us who Sunchild is.
So Sunchild is a battle hippie. No, Sunchild is a demon hunter within the Demon Hunter Raven universe who grew up in this cult with a group of other children who were all born in this, we'll say, event that the cult had been waiting on. And as they grew up, they were brought into these lessons by a leader in this cult community, this commune. And they were taught this dance. This dance was their entire life. Other kids were learning how to write better, learning what normal homeschool commune kids learn, whatever you want to consider that as. And these kids that Sunchild was a part of, they were learning this dance, and they were all given these different tools. And Sunchild was given these chakrams. They were wooden, and they were connected to ribbons that he tied on his wrists, and he practiced his dance with. And as they grew up, they started learning that the dance was something a bit deeper, and maybe something that they didn't realize it was at first. And over time, Sunchild and the others learned that they're actually meant to become demon hunters. And it's part of this situational prophecy for the kids that if they were to become demon hunters, they will become great demon hunters, and they will serve an important purpose on behalf of the demon hunters. But with that situational prophecy is, if they were to do it and become this great unit together, they are doomed to kill each other in this event that they just recognize as called the dance.
Oh, wow.
So there is something that will happen that will, end up being the doom of them all. And before things get much deeper than that, Sunchild is pulled out of the cult and is sort of separated from all of them. And, he goes about his own life, thinking that he's never going to become this thing that he had grown up thinking he was going to be his entire life. and even tries to, as much as he wants to try, he tries to get away from the hippie life and become more of something else, something very anti-hippie. But he just can't seem to get out of that, and eventually, through some circumstances, ends up becoming a demon hunter anyway, through some mysterious circumstances, we'll say.
That's really, geez Louise, man. Wow. I'm really, holy crap, dude. Wow. Holy
yeah,
cow,
when he sent me
man.
the full detail for this, because so originally how Paul ended up coming across this is at the last campaign I had a create your own demon hunter, which I'm doing right now too,
Yeah.
and it just allowed for the chance for just something fun and creative to happen, and he gave me this full detail, in depth, like what you just heard right there, and just like you, I don't know how I couldn't move forward with that, so I was like. You wanna do something on this? Like maybe work on something? And
heck yeah, I do.
I haven't read your newest one that you just sent me.
I'm so excited for you to read it.
I got like three random things in my inbox now. I'm like, I'm just not ready to read this yet.
Understandable.
Yeah. So, but I know already what my answer is going to be to it. It's going to be a straight no. Straight no. So when he presented that idea to me, there was not going to be there was no extra content. It was just going to be a character and an illustration.
Yeah,
and I kind of sat there and I was like, I really hate adding more work to my schedule, but I got to do this. And I haven't said this to you yet, and I don't think I could elegantly put it in a message because my typing and my words suck. So
words are hard.
Words are hard. It sounds like I went to your type of school. English is hard. Not joking, actually, my school was pretty bad. But
oh no!
When he sent me the script, not only did it elevate the idea behind what he was already telling me, and it contextualized it in a manner that you could visually see it in such a way that it's like a montage in a movie, but it was so emotionally impacting that when you get to that last two panels of the 6 pages, I sat there just floored. I was like, holy cow, how am I going to do this? I don't know if I can emotionally hit those chords like how it is. And
yeah,
I've worked with a few people and they're good, but Paul, you pushed me hard where I sat there going, I don't think I'm the guy for this.
Man, that's pretty
intense. An honor. That's an honor.
Because they're dripping with so much imagery and thoughts and processes behind it that I can't wait to have it explored further on and allow there to be more breadth for this character to expand and talk about who he is exactly, because the 6 pages is really just to kind of give you an idea of who he is and what he's doing and get you like we're fishing. We want you to take the bait. We want you to come along with us on this ride because
it's that concept trailer, that proof of concept.
Yeah. Yep. So it's really hard because we're trying to tell you here about a 6-page character that we want to do more further down the line, but
right. Yeah, man. First off, I'm surprised you could even fit this like story in 6 pages. Like, I don't know. It's like I'm so invested. It's like I'm gonna be so sad after I'm done reading these 6 pages because I'm gonna be hungry for more, man.
That's kind of was the fun part, was seeing the the character's development within 6 pages of just kind of going flashing back to like the beginning of the trailer. You get a really sort of sense of like where he's at, but you don't know why. Right. And then you're given little hints along the way, and the narration and the context and the meta of the dialogue that's being presented to you really drives you into a false sense of security, and then just drops you at the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I think for a lot of people it's going to be a 2 or 3 times read before they finally realize it, because at first I think they're going to look at it like, wait, what? Wait,
there's some stuff they might miss for sure.
Yeah, because there's a lot of little moments.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once we expand upon it, which we'll talk about after off the stream, how to tackle that.
Sounds good.
We'll go further into it. So kind of talk to us about because you already had an idea of what you had conceptually thought of for these characters in terms of visuals.
Mhm.
So as Ichthus here is coloring them, you were so easy to design with because you had such a plethora of references compared to
Yeah,
other people that come up and they're like, "I want a cool character," and you're like, "Well, what's the parameters?"
stuff.
You literally, literally. I think I offended one guy because he told me to draw a husky-looking guy, and he gave me
Oh yeah,
references.
you told me about that.
Oh
Yeah, and I
man.
felt bad because I think I pretty much ruined that work relationship right there. He told me to draw him husky, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he gave me a reference to go off of, and the guy was rather chubby, and so I said, "Okay, husky, chubby. That's what we're going off of. That's how we're communicating." And I gave it to him, and he didn't respond to me for like 4 days, and I was like,
Holy cow.
Usually I get a response right away. What's going on here?" When he came back, he wasn't expecting chunky, not husky, and so our communication was so far off in terms of like what he was looking and how I was responding to it that um, just wasn't. The communication was hard,
Yeah.
and you'll get that sometimes where it just you're not on the same page, and that and learning how to what one thing means to one person compared to another person can be so hard. Like,
Oh, amen.
so I wanted to ask you personally here, how did you kind of you obviously had a sense of how you visualize these characters already. So kind of get into the meat of that. Like visually, where did that all come from? Like where were you coming from with a lot of this?
Um, Something I'd want to see and read. Something that maybe is not there. Looking for all the cool aspects of a character that just haven't been put together before was really what was in my mind. And obviously with Sunchild and and you hear me reference in the little bit before, Sunchild's design is very much based on what the other children's designs as adults are not. Um, so I wanted someone who, well, arrogantly I can almost say I wanted almost something that was the sort of Iron Man situation with Stan Lee, where there's a character that maybe you shouldn't like, or maybe there's so many people within the community who would normally not like this person, or maybe not like this kind of person. But can we make them someone enjoyable? So not a bunch of pouches, not, 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 not a machine gun, weapons that are essentially death frisbees instead of a giant sword or something like that, something a bit more elegant. So I thought, where's our elegant badass who is not like a JoJo character or something like that. I think of like tennis, right? Which I doubt anyone in the stream is much of a fan as I am, but Roger Federer is one of the greatest of all time, and he plays very much. He can play power if he wanted to, but he's very much a finesse player. But he's not. He's still got that manly aspect to him. So there's just a lot. There's a lot, and if I keep going, I'll just ramble.
No, that's fine. I think part of it is adding value. Like, how do you create these characters from a writer's perspective? Visually, how do you see it, and then how does it get conveyed to the artist? Because I think we can all talk day and night about like how do you convey as a writer what you're seeing? How do you get the artist to grasp that same concept?
Amen, amen. And again, back to the kids as a whole, which I think will be for, because I think we've already referenced enough that I can say this, that we're looking to expand on the Sunchild mythos within the Demon Hunter Raven universe. I think again, a lot of it is what is his role amongst the others who grew up in this commune within this specific group. And for Sunchild, it was very much that with the battle hippie thing, the sort of supportive force, the one who keeps people going, and you'll see some aspects of that without spoiling too much. While the next character who is in the 2-page story, it's 2-page teaser, is completely different. They fill a different role, and they're very much the opposite of Sunchild, but yet they are meant to work as a cohesive unit despite their vast differences and approaches. They still work great together, and so it's like creating a basketball team, right? You're coming up with Sunchild's very much the point guard of the team.
Oh wow!
And the next character is the shooting guard. So that's where my mindset is what is the pillar of this team, and what does this specific role need to look like, and what kind of character would fill that role?
I have an interesting question for you. So not a lot of people know about your series Bump Back, which you're working on right now, and it's getting worked on. And you've kindly shared a lot of information with me about it. And one thing that's always impressed me is your ability to flesh out these characters and give them a whole entire backstory and character and just personalities that the minute you start talking about them, like they're real people. I like, there's no way that I couldn't differentiate them from like a fake sort of thing, but people are going to learn when they start reading your stuff. You have a knack for crafting characters and giving them voices. So, and when people go back to look at this, let's mine some information from, because I think they're going to learn here from someone, even if they don't know it yet. They're going to come back to this. Let's talk a little bit how you craft your characters. How do you get them so fleshed out? What is your process?
That is a great question. So obsession. Think of like one aspect of Sunchild that was in my head. The hippie aspect, the child rescued from a cult. Okay, so that was the main aspect that I thought about. Hippie commune child rescued from a cult. What would their life into adulthood look like? They'd probably be bullied quite a bit when they went to public school. They would eventually try and hide that away. They would look for anything that they could do to hide it away from being the peacekeeping flower child, which is what led to the idea of Sunchild eventually going into the military and then coming back and yada yada yada. But it's about obsession. It's about obsession and what is the Hemingway tactic for writing, which is knowing enough about what you're writing that when you stop, you still have all the next steps that are coming. What's going on tomorrow, and so you obsess over that one thing, and then once you know that one thing enough, you cling on to the new information that branched off of it, and it's just sort of a snowball effect from there, in coming up with stuff.
That's pretty cool. That's cool. Yeah, and that's you have a definitely great grasp on those sort of things. So when you have multiple characters, and obviously your ideas are, people don't know this yet, but not each idea. Man, I can't talk tonight. Not each idea is a carbon copy of another character. Like each character is individually thought out. How do you make sure that you're not creating copycat characters of your, like, character A is not the same as character B? Like, how do you create these contrasts between them?
So that's what's so funny, right? Is because the idea for Bump Back came from me being a huge wuss and crying at horror movie deaths, right? Because I look at the horror movie canon fodder, and we're all three believers here. Yep. I'm very much in belief of second, third, fourth, fifth in plus chances in life, and all I see are these people who are just labels, right? The dumb jock, the preppy princess, the junkie, the final girl, yada yada yada. And the idea for Bump Back was you take these one-dimensional characters and you give them that second chance. And what happens if they don't just get the opportunity to grow? They have to grow out of their one-dimensional aspect. when we get into Bump Back, Hellhound, he's a blue werewolf. All the other werewolves in the universe are brown fur, black fur, usual dog fur sort of colors, but he's the sort of addict of the group, and he's drinking this liquid moonlight, or aka moonshine, in order to stay werewolf whenever he's needed, which allows him to be consistently a werewolf, but severely weakens him to if he just was a werewolf during full moon and stuff like that. And so it's all about going beyond as far as we can, and just imagining growth. I think I'll give credit to all creators. I think we want our characters to grow. It's expected for the most part, unless otherwise you just are an artsy fartsy pants. That's the technical professional term. So
that's why I've heard it too. It's in the dictionary.
Yeah. It's about just giving characters growth as much as possible. And I think a lot of my work, both comic and because my background's in screenwriting,
right.
I think a lot of my work deals with perception, how we are perceived versus how we want to be perceived. And the differences between people and whatnot. And so it's almost like a cubist painting when creating a character. You're not just you're creating them. You're looking at their whole personality, up, down, left, right, and putting a combination of that together. Hopefully that makes sense, and not just rambling nonsense. But
no, it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you said something there talking about character growth, and I've always enjoyed, like you were just talking about, like taking the Tony Stark and making people like him.
Yes.
What would you tell to upcoming writers? What are ways that they can help their character grow? Like, how can they keep them from going stagnant and tell a progressive story with a character?
That's a good question. I think the number one thing is how would you want this person to grow in particular? Again, going back to the horror movie death thing, there's things that I would want for those characters if they were real people. There are things that I would want for them, and think those opposites. So look at the opposite of what your character is on page one, or at least one aspect, and what are realistic in terms of your story. What are the realistic steps to get them there? Not, Deus Ex Machina of personality types, but what are those realistic steps within the logic of your universe? So that could be monsters fighting monsters, and somehow getting the dumb jock to become the Batman of his universe. What are the steps? What's that 12-step program that you would put your character's personality through in order to make them better, or to get them to where they need to be on the last page of your story, the last page of your series from page one? Going back to Sunchild, you were talking about how him and this group of kids are in a cult. And when I was reading part of that, I hadn't told a lot of people, but in my really early, like, I think it was like 5 to 7 or so, our family was in a cult, and that's not something I talk about a whole lot. And it took a lot to get certain individuals out of it. And I won't say who it was or what it is, because I don't want to offend it. I don't want to go down that trail. But totally.
When you brought up that whole entire aspect, I was really intrigued as to how you're going to portray that, because my background, I knew I had some individual, things with it. Yeah. So the question I want to ask you is, from a writer's perspective, a lot of times they say to write from experience, but if you don't have that experience, you're supposed to go and research. Like, obviously, we all didn't grow up in the 1200s, so if you want to do a story about the Crusades, you have to research it. So from your point of view, how do you write about something that's not tangible to you? How do you bring something to life if you haven't had that experience, or if you have had that experience, how do you make that relatable to the reader?
Dang, man, you got such good questions, and you're going to quickly learn that most of my technique is just BS. So,
Tone is mine.
I really, when coming up with this whole thing, I knew that I wanted it to be so I can't say anything really outside of Sunchild and that sort of POV. I wanted it to be a positive experience that in hindsight he looks back and it's something not. So whatever that was going to be, in this case a cult, I knew that was the case for this particular character. I do not have much or any experience in cults. I know people, obviously. Now I know that you were also involved, or like when you were younger. But really, it was just sort of a community. Like, excuse me.
Like Jim Jones, that one guy.
Yes,
it's the Kool-Aid.
That's essentially, you are on the money there for what will be going down the road. That sort of character the only character in the 6-page story that you don't see necessarily, if you know what I'm talking about. There's a character you won't see who is definitely something that will be something, whatever you want to consider that, talking about down the road for sure. There will be sort of that Jim Jones thing, and it's really just stuff like that. The media and documentaries and stuff that I've been exposed to, just bits and pieces that have hit me. So nothing really that deep, unfortunately. Like I said, you'll learn over time that most of my stuff is just, hey, this sounds fun. Hey, this is cool. Let's do that.
Well, and I liked it because when you approached me about this character, and you didn't come in with someone that's like a happy, jubilant, go lucky, feel good sort of character. I mean, I think most people can probably tell now if they've read my series that it's not about happy feelings. It's not about waking up and, oh man, let's go for the day. It's about, a lot of people are dealing with depression, anxiety. I mean, they're demon hunters, and a lot of times they're dealing with the emotional strife and repercussions of what they went through, how it affects their life. And I mean, Sunchild hit all those rules and things that I have for this particular universe. That there needs to be something that emotionally brings us to this character. Like, why should we care about this guy? So for me, you hit every single one of those points.
Love hearing that. Love hearing that.
Cool.
Yeah. I have a question with you, Paul, because this is coming from an artist's perspective and color theory. So when I first got when I first got this illustration right here, like I already thought of like the color scheme and everything and the name Sunchild. Like, okay, like this is, I don't even know the origin or anything. Like neither Nick nor Paul even told me the origin or the behind the scenes of this character. Like I'm literally learning in first perspective. Like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And my perspective, my precision for like the colors and stuff is like, okay, Sunchild, he's angelic, he's gonna be blind, he's gonna have like white armor and everything, and all this stuff. And then once I got Nick with the whole like all the high res images and everything, and the color scheme, it's like I got this, and I'm like, whoa, this is far from what I expected to be. So it's like he has his black hair, he has this green Celtic look to it, and these discs, man. I'm like, so like what was the idea? Like, what was your is it like a proof of concept? Like, were you not really sure what color it is, so you just have Nick just do his magic, and then you're like, yeah, this is great? Or since this is like the first appearance of this character, and like literally just only 6 pages just to get to know this character, but he has such a deep lore. It's like it's like I just really want to know like the character design as well as the color scheme.
So the color scheme for all but two things is all Nick, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
He had asked me about the hair, and I said dark hair, and then if you look, you can see it in the image done by Nick. There's an orange rose, and
Right.
you'll learn over time throughout the Sunchild lore that each of the children has a very specific flower that you should hint look for whenever there are things going on in anything Sunchild related. Definitely be looking out for flowers. They each have one. So Sunchild's is an orange rose. Everything else other than the hair in that rose, that's all Nick. That's all Nick and his brilliant, beautiful mind putting all that fantastic artistic talent to use and creating something special. That's all him. I can't take credit for his incredible talents. The outfit and the colors. That's what you get when you work with Nick. He is an absolute master at an unreasonable level when it comes to character design. He knows what he is doing better than 98% and tied with the other 2% of artists I've ever seen. He's just that freaking phenomenal.
Just speaking of colors, though, I think some of the references you gave me, though, kind of pointed towards at least that sort of color theory in terms of like what we're talking about, personality, ideas, and sort of his characteristics, like Sunchild, and when you showed me the flower. Because if the flower is going to be orange, I think we were kind of talking about like if that's designated, you don't want stuff to either. You don't want to be like contrasted real high against it, like that's a warm color, so you don't want to elaborate him in these warm color basics. And when you're designing characters, you want to kind of stick to like a one or two colors style on a person. That's why Batman's gray and blue, or black and gray, or Spider-Man's blue and red. Because they're going to be doing this stuff over and over again. And even in movies, I mean, Captain America is one of those few that's like red, white, and blue. But obviously he's the symbol of justice right there. So when you told me about the orange flower, the idea was then to go with cool colors and more muted, so that the orange stood out more. And I think when you sent me references, we really talked about The Witcher and kind of that sort of older looking style, and talking about the this commune, this cult, and how they would kind of present themselves, and what type of demon hunters they were. And they diverge a little bit here, because my main story takes place within paramilitary sort of guys and ninjas. Like it's your classic ninjas versus knights hidden within the structure of the story. So mine's all based on armor and high technology and ninjas and masks and stuff. So when he came forward, it was a complete and utter a whole entire different idea, like hippie demon hunters. And I was like, that's a crazy idea. How are we going to make that work? Okay, let's try it. And I mean, you could sell it on the tagline, like demon hunter hippies or hunter demon hunter. And that
sounds like a late night movie.
Yeah. And so that alone just was kind of like, okay, how do we draw upon that inspiration? So at the same time, I looked at The Witcher, and then I looked at just basic hippie wear, like what people were wearing and those sort of things. And then, I think one of the things you showed me too was just like uniforms. We were thinking of uniforms, like these guys are going to come into their own, but they're all established within some sort of like I've been running out of words. I'm visual. I'm not wordy.
It's all right. I am wordy, and I'm also bad at words. It's okay.
But then the yellow was slightly put in there to accent the orange to help lead your eye towards that sort of thing. Now, needless to say, I'm sure me and Paul would like to update it a little bit when we go further down the line. Like, is this his final design? Is this what he wears all the time? I'm sure we'll probably come up and be like, we could tweak a few more things or accentuate this idea a little bit more. Because in Ichthus, when you bring up the character design, the three-way thing, you don't have to right now, but there's a part where he's wearing this giant cloak over him. And that doesn't come into play in the 6-page story, but Paul was talking to me about when he's mastered this technique, and when he's come into this his demon hunter mastery. Because think of this, in my story, we haven't really met demon hunter masters, and mine deals more within the church, but there's got to be people outside of there that are also demon hunting in a whole entire different fashion for different reasons, because these evil forces exist. And just like there's many different faiths, and we all believe in one particular faith, but there's many other people that come in and have a different idea of how it should be. I really like how he approached this from a different side of the aisle and said, what if these guys came at it like this? And that also deals with the sort of, maybe I'm saying this wrong, but sort of corrupt nature of how they deal with it and why they end up the way that they do.
It's very interesting that you say corrupt. So it's all I'll say for now. But they grew up in this cult where this sort of weather phenomenon happened, and it's reflected in this garden that this cult considered sacred, where these, I'm going to say 7, but you may not see 7 when you read the 6-page story, where these 7 sort of flowers happened at the same time that this 7-part weather phenomenon took place. That was foretold in their little group. Sunchild is the only one who is named after the role that he was supposed to fill. But so just you'll see from the design, and including their weapons. Not, I would say, and maybe Nick would agree or disagree on this. I don't think one of the 5 you'll see of 7 have any sort of traditional sort of weaponry or anything like that.
Not
One in particular has something that's just way out of left field.
They were all out of left field for me as I'm sitting there trying to think. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I going to do with this? I think it was cool because it gives it a visual identity. And so in order to read the story, you got to get the deluxe edition. It's going to be the starting points. Consider it like when you used to get Detective Comics or Spectacular Comics or Action Comics. This is a way to kind of get integrated into something new. And we've already gotten plenty of good feedback that this is going to go further on. But if you want his first appearance, that will be in the deluxe edition. Otherwise, me and Paul are going to go off stream and then talk about how we want to tackle this further down the road. Because I've run into a whole entire new problem now where I have an opportunity now because of you guys, you wonderful people that have elevated this campaign beyond my wildest imaginations. So I got to figure out how to top it now.
Dude.
I don't know how to.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Nick, because I'm just so excited for you, dude. Because I've
you.
looked at your recent update too, and I was blown away too of But I want to jump into, because I really want to piggyback on this topic where like Demon Hunter, and it's like, oh well, there's these hippies like demon hunters and stuff, and like Paul really opened up this whole like universe now, and I think too is like not only corrupt, but I feel like in a way, because how it's going to be married into your Civil War type of story going on. What I thought too is like, I feel like in a way like the church, like the Church of Christ and everything, I feel like we were at a point where we branched out, because there's like non-denominational. I'm a believer. I'm in the non-denominational group. So I feel like non-denominational is basically like the tree bark of, this. Yeah. And then once they go up, then that's when everything start branching out. You got Baptists, you got Pentecostal, Mormonism, all this stuff. They still believe, but there's like certain rules that they have. And I feel like Paul literally opened up branches of the demon hunters that they have a different belief system that, like they have the same name, same belief, but they have their own sets of rules and how they get started within the demon hunter race.
I think you hit that right on the nail there. Ichthys is one of the things with this campaign was to kind of open up the world a little bit more and just extend it beyond just the main cast, to kind of say there's a larger pool going out there. There's not just these demon hunters. We're focused on the Minnesota Twin Cities area, but there's more outside of that. Now, Paul, one thing I didn't even ask you is, where did you envision this taking place? Philadelphia, Texas, Arizona. I don't remember if you said where you thought that would be.
We are headed to the Rochester, North Carolina area of New York. Not New York City. We are headed to a little bit different area, but Rochester, North Carolina area.
Okay. Oh, Bill's down there going, yeah, it's going to take me a minute to figure out everyone's handles.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, can you hear me better now?
I can hear you now.
Hear you way better now.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I didn't have my headphones in. That's why I was running to my kitchen. But well enough that I could hear you. Yeah, so we're going to the Rochester, North Carolina area.
Okay. And that's interesting because I do have a story in there that starts off at the end of the deluxe edition called History of the Demon Hunters, and it goes all the way back to the Crusades and kind of explores the different groups of demon hunters and them forming and like the formation of the order in the Navi and how they kind of came to grips. Because if anyone's read chapter 2, they know that there's a clash of demon hunters going on already. There's a civil war. And History of the Demon Hunters is going to dive into where did that civil war extend from? Where did it come from? And so then right after that comes Sunchild. And so it's really cool to see that there's these different riffs and how they came out. And it's going to allow us to tell more stories in that sort of way. And who knows, maybe we'll have an Avengers-style meetup later on where a lot of these demon hunters come to clash with each other in a not so heroic way.
Yes.
Hints for what's to come ahead.
Dude, I'm so excited, dude. So yeah, dude, let the people know about this recent update that happened to you, that Kickstarter reached out to you.
Yeah. So after we did live, I think for 20 hours, we got one of those projects we love certificates on the campaign. So I guess what someone told me is that means that someone in the Kickstarter employees or whatever really liked it and decided to put it on top of it. So that was unexpected and really cool. And on top of that as well, I haven't put this on the newest update, but we've been under the fresh favorites, which means we're constantly being checked and put on. I'm not really 100% sure what it means, but we're under this category where we're constantly showing up. So it's again, this is not what I was expecting. We hit beyond our goal within 6 hours, and last campaign that took a whole 30 days to do, and this last time we hit all those goals within less than 24 hours. So that's a definite plus. A lot of growth. We're still looking to up our backers. We're seeing a huge shift in. There's a lot of new people here, and we understand that a lot of people, like, it's only been a 5-month difference from when the last one came out, and the starting physical entry point is $25. So I did change my business model a little bit for this one, just because I ended up getting a deal to do singles. So I'm switched my format now that on my Patreon and then in my Gumroad you'll be able to get the singles, the single issues, but on Kickstarter, that's where we'll fund the actual production, the overhead, and the actual graphic novels. Bill says he's heading out. It was good to see you, Bill. Thank you for doing this piece. Again, I just want to reiterate, Bill is the illustrator of this piece. You guys can go check him out. He's taking commissions. You can find him on Instagram and Twitter as his handle down there as Bill Jersey. Go ahead and check him out. He is very reasonable with his prices, and he is amazing. So as you can see here, he's got a really great grasp and handle of the anatomy, and just very stylish.
Great guy too.
Yeah. He did one of my favorite Violet pieces that of her crouching down with her claws out, and it just was like, ooh, he captured her perfectly.
Yeah, man.
So
that was fantastic.
That was intense. So I can't wait to have his art in this next book with Ichthys colors and Paul's character here. So things are just shaping up to be far better and exceeding my expectations. Because when you hand an artist something else, to work with you, there's always a bit of nervousness, anxiety of you're like, I hope they do good, or I hope they don't mess this up. There's always a what if factor. But
Yeah,
man,
dude.
everyone has brought their A game. Everyone has not slacked off. No one's acted like, oh, it's just a job, I gotta do it. Like everyone's been very passionate about whatever they've come to me with. Like, I'll be honest, I gave Bill here an opportunity to do the 1776 Raven, the Revolutionary Raven. That's another story.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And then I said, you can either do the Raven piece or you can do Sunchild. And he was like, I'm doing Sunchild. That character looks way too cool. And I'm like, all right.
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that's dude. If I was given that option too, I would go for Sunchild as well, man. Because holy cow, dude, Sunchild is such a cool character, man.
Well, and the name is offbeat. It's not something that you're. I think that's also, and what I'm trying to say is that is so cool because you're not going to get that anywhere else.
Right.
It's not someone trying to replicate an Iron Man or a Batman. This is a character that's going to stand on its own two legs, and it doesn't have. To me, the best way that I can even correlate it to is Desmond from Assassin's Creed. He was part of a cult, was called into something, and then he walked away from it for quite a few years, and then got called back into it. So when Paul came to me, and I was just like, oh, I was so on board. And now I've got so much work now. I gotta figure out how to juggle this all.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get you to go pro.
What is pro? I don't know if I want to be in the pros though. Some of those guys in there, lack of maturity.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think some of the best creators right now are in indies. There's a few exceptions in the pro that I will definitely say, like Todd McFarlane has been keeping me excited with his Spawn verse, whatever he called it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's yeah, dude. It's like now it's no longer like one Spawn series. Now it's like you having a whole entire month, like of Spawn content, and I'm like, holy
which is
cow.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see what he's in for, because I've checked out a little bit and I don't read it extensively, but it seems to be rather interesting. But
I'm with you there. Spawn is one of those characters that I think is awesome, really interested in, but I just don't read it really.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more visually appealing than it is story wise. Sometimes it gets bogged down by excessive narration or exposition. So I get lost really easy. I just want to look at the pictures.
Yeah.
But another thing too is I want to moving forward. I got some really great feedback from the last two Kickstarters, and I'm more visually inclined. My writing is weak, and so I've had some great writers come up and say that they want to partake in this, and so I've hired on a few guys, and right now, Chapter 3 is being co-written with Brainy Pixels Brandon. And so he's been helping. Yeah, so there's gonna be a co-writer to kind of, because I'm the type of guy that I've got a lot of ideas, but to get them all fleshed out and coherent, isn't necessarily much. Yeah,
words are hard.
Words are very hard. And I actually called them up and I said, Brandon, I'm drowning over here. I'm in a mess of a flood. I've got more than I can handle, and now the story is suffering far more than I can handle. And I had just started my third draft of it, and I had to start drawing it.
Wow.
And him being a full-time writer, he's like, all right, let's take a look at it. And he just showed me some parts of the script about a few days ago, and I was floored by it. He took something I wrote and elevated it to a point where it would stand up there with prose. And he took my ideas and extended it beyond what I was capable of doing. So those 2 pages I drew are just merely that's on the campaign page, are just an example of the quality that's going to get boosted up in this new campaign. So I've gotten some excellent feedback, and just to give a little point of value here, if you guys ever don't know how people are responding, listen to the people that are talking, because you'll get feedback. And those people that are talking, they're the ones that are willing to show you what you're failing at, what you're doing good at, and where they want to see you expand. Because in the crowdfunding scene, in the indie scene, very few of us want to see you fail. Very, very few of us want to see you suddenly just get dropped down and just stop.
Right.
A lot of people want to see you go further and take you to the next level. I mean, there are a few groups that actually do want to see you fail, but that's a whole different story.
I get it. Well, it's only because that you are becoming a how do I say without saying colorful words, especially in my live stream, being toxic to the community, and then try to flip your character when you're on your show to give a different perception of you.
Very
if
good.
you go to other people's channels, you are very different. You're not consistent. You are a fake. And
that's good.
Yeah, no, dude. I'm very guys, I am how I am, and I will give you an answer that a lot of people would take it, and they would they will be happy that I'm not only giving you a straight to the point answer without any feedback behind that answer. I will give you an answer and a feedback, so that way either you're going to grow from it, or you take it as a grain of salt, and then you go on from whatever you want to do, and that's fine by me. But when it comes to others that I would give advice to, I give them advice, and instead of avoiding these hurdles that now that they finally get to that point, it's like, oh, I'm doing this now. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I already told you to avoid that pit a few months ago, but that's fine, dude. Just like keep on going, because again, it's their journey. I've already experienced it. I already got bruises and burns off of my time, and as me as an individual and as an artist, like you want to share, and you want to hope that you don't want them to go through the same thing as you've gone through. But of course, sometimes people need to learn. If they don't want to follow the signs that says beware, it's gonna you're gonna get burnt. Sometimes you will have to get burned to learn. There's no right or wrong way of learning. You either accept the information, or you experience within this information.
Absolutely true. Yeah.
Word.
Paul. Oh man.
I think the hardest part though is we all have ideas. It's just how do we get to the forefront? How do we because we're in a very saturated market right now where everyone's trying to apply for your attention and to get you to look at their stuff, or to get you to come to their streams or buy their books or fund their crowdfunding. And I think to come out to the front is is the hardest part. And I think what we're all trying to say though is, if you're toxic, you're a jerk to everyone, that's a really good way to get your stuff completely blown, like to not get anything. But if you're professional and you show any sort of mode of decor with the people, and just treat people like how you'd want to be treated. Hopefully that's nice. Hopefully you want to be treated nicely. You can get a lot farther. Oh.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Well, yeah, Christopher C is like, oh, it's gotta suck trying to color with people over your shoulder. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's cool to see you. It's cool to see you bringing
this is amazing.
Yeah, this is fun for us.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun, guys. It's like I'm barely talking because I'm just so into this, and listening to you guys. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm listening to an audiobook.
Thanks for stopping by, everyone who's in the chat, by the way. I really appreciate it. Make sure you go back Demon Hunter Raven on Kickstarter right now, and I'm going to go ahead and share that link in the chat. We got Nicholas Mueller, the creator of that right now, who is just now over $4,000.
Yeah,
which is pretty freaking phenomenal.
Buddy.
I'll be able to feed my kids again. So we can't eat until this is done, guys. Gotta wait.
It's 5 kids to eat. Well, not 5 kids to eat. No, feed.
Well, if you watch the movie, he does end up with 4 kids. Yeah.
And we are one backer away from 80. So If you're in this chat, this is a great campaign to get behind, a great series to get behind. You're not just backing a talented creator, you're backing a creator who has been working his butt off to improve every single day. He is constantly putting out great content. Go back his Patreon as well to follow that. But before you do that, make sure you back on Kickstarter, because this is a campaign you are really going to want to get behind. And even if I was not a part of the deluxe edition, I would still be saying that Nick is a phenomenal guy with a heck of a work ethic, and he's all about valuing his customer and giving his customer something really special. So go back Demon Hunter Raven today.
That you actually brought up something that I've been trying to really do this time, was look at this as a premium product that people can invest in. Because we've had that issue lately where it's like, well, it's going to end up in a store. Why should I back this if it's just going to be on a store and I'll just get it cheaper? So this time I really wanted to look at the ability to give something more impactful, that see it as an opportunity to invest in this product, and then hand them back something that they're not going to get in a store. It won't be even on my Patreon. It's going to be an all-around whole entire different experience for people who are backing, and to give them a one-time experience, and hopefully more beyond this point, but to to value the customer as they come in and invest in this with us.
Yeah.
As Neo says, where's my book? I'm making it right now. It's not done.
Where is my book?
So the deluxe edition is my way of saying this is exclusive. It's not going to be reprinted in this format. It will not. I will never reprint that cover again by Stephen Cummings, which I'm sadly saying because that thing is so beautiful. But
gorgeous.
So that's a one-time opportunity. Is as an investor in this Kickstarter, you're gonna, if you get that tier, you work faster. Oh gosh. If you only knew the amount of pages I'm doing per day. But one of the deals that ended up happening is I do have an indoor a store deal now, and so I ended up recoloring chapter 1 so that can sit on stands.
Nice.
But the graphic novels won't be on stores. The deluxe edition will never be reprinted ever again. What's ordered is ordered, and that will go out to those people.
Which I just bought a second one today, by the way.
Oh, nice.
I just added it on.
Nice. I appreciate that. Where can we find the Christopher is saying, where can we find a floppy for 3 again? That will be I have to wait till this Kickstarter is done. And then when I am fully established with the Savage Sandbox crew, after I'm done inking all those and getting my contract done with them, it'll be a reissue of issue 1, which will be the first 24 pages of chapter 1, and then it'll kind of go through there. So number 3 will be technically number 7 when we get to that point. So that will probably start somewhere in July and then continue from there. And I don't know how the scheduling is going to be, how those are going to come out. I'm still finding out details and how they plan on releasing stuff. So I'll have better information after the campaign's done, because I'm in the middle of reworking all that stuff right now. So I went through a whole entire business remodeling due to, like, right after the second campaign ended to the point that this started, I had several things come up to me that I was not expecting, like getting the store deal. So just a lot of things changed instantly overnight for me to bring about this. And now with this Kickstarter, I'm seeing several more changes that I can expand upon. So Christopher, to answer that question, it's in the works, it's coming. It just might be another 6 months after this is done. So the Kickstarter people are just getting it before anyone else. When I do the single issues, that will be months and months out from now. Because I'm doing new covers. I'm doing a whole entire new thing so that store people get something different. Kickstarter people get something different. They're all getting valued at a whole entire different rate. Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, we got Paul in here. Paul Tucker. He's so we got SP Comics in. Are you a Paul as well? Yeah, we got Paul Tucker here. There's a lot of Pauls.
Yeah, dude. A lot of Pauls in the indie scene.
Just Pauls everywhere. Just everywhere.
So, yeah, a lot of things changed overnight. And I know I had a few people, and I can't talk about the deal too much because I'm still in the middle of it. But I didn't want to lose my momentum and completely because I'm done with everything. I'm just reorganizing and restructuring stuff. So I've got a whole bunch of new readers for this. So when that information is available, I will obviously be posting about it left and right. It will not be hidden. But I think I've only made one announcement, and then I've been kind of holding off the rest of the information because yep. I remember you being there from the beginning. But I will make those available. They'll be in my Gumroad, and then hey Scott, you're in the channel too. In the comments. I swear I speak English. It just doesn't always come off that way.
Words are hard.
It's hard.
So what was your national language then, Nick?
Well, it was probably idiocy.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. No, it took me a while to actually learn how to like speak and read and all that stuff.
Really?
What do they say? There's like 3 types of learners. There's the hands-on, the auditory, and then the visual type.
Yeah.
And I've always been more of a visual, hands-on type of person. Audible has never been my thing. So, I started drawing comics at like the age of 5, which
holy cow.
My boys are doing that now. My youngest, they've got characters. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think starting next week, if you're on my Facebook, I'm gonna start doing some live streams on Facebook with my family, and I'm gonna start talking about how I do this with 5 kids. Secret is it doesn't. So if you're on my Facebook, you're gonna get a little bit more of a one-on-one insight, and I'll answer some questions because I get bombarded with marketing questions. How do I do this? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm flying on the seat of my pants too. No, the truth is I do come with a plan, and whether it works or not is a whole entire different story.
Right.
Neo says, "Low, don't worry, Nick. I was better at reading than speaking when I was younger." Yeah, I think that's for a lot of people.
Yeah. True.
I think a lot of people, especially in our community, I think we're just very visual. Scott says he's trying to market more and more. That's right, man. I had to shot him a message saying, "Gotta get aggressive," and that's been kind of my key now. Is if people, if you think you're being spammy, you're probably not spamming enough. Because if you're the only one talking about it, it probably means that you're not talking about it enough. And to bring up that conversation is, I can't imagine of a better wingman and a secondary marketing person than Paul. He is constantly on that grind with me.
Holy cow, man.
And Chris, to answer that question, I don't know yet. They have a list, but I haven't looked at it. I'm probably like the last one to see anything because they have a first wave that's going to be coming out in April. I'm on the second wave is what I'm supposed to be getting into, and that's whether I can meet my deadlines. So I haven't even talked to you guys about my deadlines for those of me re-establishing everything. So when that information is available, I'll find out. But if you have a comic shop, get that information to me, and then I can hand that to my guy, and I will get that information because then he can get in contact with them. Because what they're going to be doing is this group is going to be giving out a book that's going to contain all of our stuff, and it'll be like the previews. There'll be a buying list for them to decide what they want to buy. So it'll be like previews, but you don't have to order a certain quantity to meet this sort of qualifications to order this. It'll just be like, you want this, you buy it, we'll get it to you, and we want to have a good relationship with you in the store. So if you have a store and you want something, contact me. I will reach out to the guy that I'm working with and give him your store information, and we'll put him on the list so that he can be a contact. But I'm not on the first wave. I'm going to be way after that. And that's if I can hit my deadlines. I'm been staying up late every single night to get anything done.
Jeez Louise. So no wonder you look like, you never
that's why I'm dropping all those
sleeping for a long time.
Got pay those bills, got 5 kids to feed.
Man, that's part of the reason I got at least 4 or 5 backers for you based on, man, he's got 5 kids to feed.
5 kids to feed.
5 kids to feed.
Just that alone.
Most people scoff and they don't believe at first.
Oh no, I totally believe.
There's only 6 children in the world. How can he have 5 of them?
Yeah. Well, and there's another creator that I talked to, Ramel Hill, and he's got 6 kids, and I'm like, man,
my gosh,
you are crazy, and I'm saying that. So I got.
We could start a real life commune for Sunchild to be born.
Yes. Rebels and Larry, 5 kids to feed.
5 kids.
Hey, Larry, good to see you, buddy.
But as before I went on a tangent and my ADHD kicked in,
Right.
Paul has got to be like one of the best marketing guys out there. That's just always pushing content, and he hits that reshare. Not only does he hit that reshare or the retweet button, he's constantly adding a poignant or a really nice thing that's said on top of it. Where, because not a lot of people realize just hitting the reshare, it's nice, but if you can say something with it, that gets people thinking. Because then if you can get them thinking, then it sticks with them longer.
Quote retweet is one of the best signs of friendship and camaraderie there is.
Exactly.
Truly.
Exactly. Yeah, but you're on that game 24/7, and I know you're busy. So,
man, I have you, Ichthus, Tyler, and Adam Lawson on notifications whenever you tweet,
Right.
for that very purpose, because I believe in you guys as creators, and I also believe in you as people, and I want to support all of you in that. All four of you, I think, are just phenomenal people. So
Adam is putting out some amazing content. Like,
oh, absolutely, Kill Journal is fantastic.
yeah, I need to still buy into that. I'm waiting for a check to come in so I can actually back some books again. I got some people like, why haven't you backed the book yet? I'm like, because I'm broke.
I got 5 kids to feed. 5 kids to feed.
He would be another creator to get in on that sort of crossover type thing that I was talking about earlier. I think he would be phenomenal for that. Revenants in that different style.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because whenever he's on a stream talking about his concepts and ideas, I'm just blown away because it's like, how did you think of that?
He's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
All four of you are.
Thank you. And buddy, you're going to be up there too as soon as we start seeing your content.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, that Paul guy, he can write.
Everyone's going to reach out to Paul after they see Bump Bag. No, not even Bump Bag. Freaking Sunchild, man.
Yeah.
They're going to be blown away, man. Just the mere fact of the origin story and how he, like, digests his character is like, oh my gosh, this is it's
insane. A lot to take in. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
And one of the one thing I loved about the story is you don't just walk away from it like, that was a good story, I love it. Like it leaves a pit in your story where you feel bad for this guy.
Oh yeah, that last shot. I wanted to the whole as soon as those captions, because I know there was that whole thing with that one comic writer that came out about caption boxes and whatnot, but it's not like that noir style inside his head sort of thing. It is a speech from earlier in his life.
Yeah.
That he's replaying in his head, and how it I can't remember the word, but how it sort of counters what's actually going on in the reality of his adulthood. Yeah, I want people to feel a bit of sickness when they read that. I want there to be, when there's that last panel that and that I know, but I want there to be a bit of curiosity and maybe a pit in their stomach.
Absolutely. And I think those are story. Well, and first off, one of the things I have too that I wanted in my universe is that these are stories that, nothing against the Marvel movies. I'm a huge Marvel movie fanatic, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for saying that now. I don't care if they're popcorn film, man.
We're only allowed to hate Marvel. What?
I love that their movies have a formula and they have a consistency to telling them, and that the stories have an ending that you could stand with. And one of my things is I kind of wanted to use endings that you kind of left feeling like, yeah, and to make you think, to make you kind of go, I've been there before, I've done this, or I've been through that situation, or I know someone that's in that situation.
Oh man, you're gonna love my 2-pager.
I'm probably gonna look at it tomorrow. Now you got me curious. I got like 3 proposals in my inbox, and I'm just like, I'm not looking at these yet. I'm so tired. And nothing against these guys. They all are fantastic, and I know immediately when I saw them, like, dang it, I'm not ready for this yet.
You've got 30,000 things on your plate and 5 kids to feed.
5 kids to feed.
And a wife to take care of too.
And a wife. Well, she takes care of me most of the time. I'm not gonna lie. I don't do much.
So you're the extra child then. So she has
Yeah.
6 kids to take care of.
She's been so nice to me. Some days I'm working through lunch, and she'll just suddenly plop down and bring me a sandwich, and I'll be like, "Oh, thank you. You made a sandwich. Get back to the kitchen." No, I'm just kidding.
My god. Yeah,
you got 5 kids. You got to feed. No.
Oh man.
But,
what was it? Yeah, no. Paul is, dude. He is such a promoter, man. It's like,
yeah.
dude. I remember one time, like this tweet where he showed off like one of the logos or motion graphics from Suicide Squad, and I'll never forget this tweet. I remember like he's like, oh, it's like if there's any graphic designers that can do something like this, right? And freaking Paul got flooded with all these graphic designers.
Oh yeah.
And it's not dudes, it's women, bro, and they're freaking. Oh my god! I'm like, Paul, what did you do, bro? It's like, man, it's like I need you for a wingman. Because holy crap, dude.
You should check out my Tinder PowerPoint.
Tinder PowerPoint.
It's a real thing. Anyway, but yeah, it's you know what, that is honestly, if I could give anyone any sort of marketing tool, if they're only looking for followers, if they are like less than 1,000 people who are following them, learn how to make your posts about anyone else but you.
Yeah.
And you will get followers. People love when you make your posts about them. I gained 24 followers in the last week and a half by making posts about not myself. By giving people the chance to talk about themselves. I got 24 followers just out of the blue. So it's incredible how that works.
Oh yeah, because people want to get on there. They want to know why is this guy talking about me? Why is he doing this? And you never. And it's fun to see who comes out of the woodworks, who just wants to use you, and then who wants to actually form something out of that. Like, this guy's pretty sweet, you know. Because let's not be dishonest with ourselves. Comics is full of some very scummy practices. Let's all say that we haven't fallen prey to someone that's tried to pull one up over us, and I think that those people end up getting found out. Can I name any of them? No.
Of course not, because you know, my channel will be struck down. You won't get affected, but I surely will.
You know, and I've heard too that for some of us are very good at sex and we have money, so you know, some of us have gone very far in that way.
Oh gosh.
So some of us like to use that in our defense. I'm hoping my DMs never get seen.
No comment.
Brian Ball's favorite meme right now.
Oh my gosh. I haven't told a lot of people, but he offered up some skills for me. So there is the
money or the other?
Well, both. I took it. You know, why not? He's got an illustration. He's got an illustration coming out featuring Raven and someone else that I am excited. I will be revealing to Patreons Monday. So
I'm a Patreon member. I've also posted a link in the chat a few times. You guys should go back, Nick, on Patreon.
I haven't talked about this, but I'm planning on. So you guys have been my beta Patreon people to kind of see like what sinks and what swims, and I'm trying to get it now to like not doing 1 page a week, but actually get it up to like 5 pages per. Or like there's a consistent story being told, like. And then release a physical at the end of that. So like every 2 months, there's some sort of physical material coming out for backers.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of logistically can I keep on top of that?
Yeah.
Because the one I'm posting right now, it's all done. I'm just kind of sitting there going like, well, once I burn through this, I'm eating up all my space, and so I'm trying to play with like, how do I do this without killing myself?
I would love some commentary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Dude, that would be fantastic. If you do some commentary, man.
Like Tyler's podcast thing that he does on there, just talk about Demon Hunter Raven in a chill, relaxed environment. I would sit through hours of that.
Okay. Yeah, because I got another guy at the $10 mark who that's videos and everything. So I'm like, oh man, I really got to work on videos now. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I put up those drawing ones, but I'm like, I don't really feel like those hit the niche.
I enjoy them. I play them up when I'm working and stuff like that, so I appreciate them. But
cool.
I would like genuinely, even if I've already heard it 1,000 times. Okay. I would love to just hear you talk about it, relaxed, lean back, have the black and white filter if you want, but just like chill out and just have a good time talking about your amazing product. I would be all about that.
I will do that. That actually sounds like a good plan. I think the next thing I had to figure out is because I'm uploading these through YouTube and the way about going it, because I just saw that like Nander Fox. I'm probably saying his name wrong. The guy that does seasons.
Yeah.
He just did a YouTube.
Fox.
Yeah, he just did a YouTube channel. He just put it up, and man, that thing looks fantastic. Woo. That was some high production. He's got some really good stuff that he's going to be putting up there, I think. But yeah, I want to start putting out more physical stuff for people, whether it's like a cool illustration, maybe like even like a 12-page short or something. But also, one of the things I'll reveal at the end of this campaign, and people that are here are going to find out, is I want to debut new characters through that route as well, through Patreon, and let them have exclusive ability to see stuff first before anyone. So I'm still figuring out how to fully explore that whole entire way, and bring
You're
about
doing great so far. You really are, especially with like how much you post.
It's daily.
Really, because like, I mean, I back you at the $25 level, and I feel like I'm getting my money's worth, because I know at 9:01 a.m. I'm going to get something Nicholas Mueller related. So
that's what I want to do. Is I want to make sure like people feel like they're actually getting they're ripping me off, but like they're getting more than what they spent. So I'm trying to figure out how to even push more into it.
Totally.
Right.
I feel you.
Yeah, because right now I have it at $1. You can get like a weekly 1-page update on something. But I'm just trying to figure out how do I maintain that all. Because then I've got the 5-star where they see the character designs and page work in progresses and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the hardest part is making sure that consistently, if you're at this value level, like you said, you're at the highest tier. How do you make them not feel like they're getting gypped out by like what the lower tiers are like? Why would I pay at this highest tier when they're getting the same stuff as me? So I'm really trying to pinpoint how do I make it exclusive at this level, that this is the top yield. These are my my nobles, the people that are serving me well, and then down there, like these people they're helping, but they're getting the crumbs. And I want to treat everyone with a kind amount, because I've accidentally hit that $1 like to all Patreons a little too often, and then realized it afterwards, like, oh crap, I went out to everyone. So happy mistakes.
It happens. Happy little accidents.
Yes, I make a lot of those. But yeah, I'm always up to hearing critiques on that, because I want to provide a very valuable experience for everyone that's on there. So I'm going to be doing more illustrations, because I've got 7 covers I need to draw, and I'm behind. I am way behind. Needless to say, I was supposed to have them done a month ago, and didn't happen.
C'est la vie.
Yeah, no, dude.
What
I love about Nick, man, is like he has such a great work ethic. Mind you, he would be on shows, man, and I'm like, holy cow!
Oh, I know, right?
And I'm so grateful with Paul, bro, because I would miss the shows that Nick would be on.
Me too.
If it wasn't Paul,
I almost missed last night.
Be dropping the links that check out my buddy, Nick, he's on this show. I'm like, bro, I freaking let Paul know, like, bro, thank you so much. I was able to like watch one of your interviews and stuff, and just chatting with these creators, dude.
Yeah.
And this, dude, I want to even like talk about this like freaking like a Marvel-esque universe, but in the indie scene that you're part of. Can you like dive more into it, or it's just give me the breadcrumbs, because I think it's something that maybe your patrons already know, that you're just trying to keep it exclusive, No.
Well, the hard part is talking about stuff so far in advance that it may not actually happen, or they're still in pre-production. So all I can kind of say is that there's things in the works, and I've had a roadmap for a while, and I've actually messaged, I think, about 3 people. I told them, I said, I need help navigating this. I have a roadmap. I have my characters. I haven't shown them to anyone. And I can exclusively say that Brandon, Paul here and Matthew Reese from the
I
main
know
character,
him.
are going to be coming on to basically help me kind of explore these options and navigate this because, like I said, this current Kickstarter is going to allow me to do far more things than what I was planning on doing. And it's speeding up a lot of stuff that I'm just not ready for. So I'm going to be bringing on some people that be kind of quality control. And I really want to hire on some quality writers, and Paul's going to be one of them.
Yeah, man. Freaking. Okay, so
Here's another
dude, here's another thing too about writers, man. Is like I have this thing like you can identify what type of writer it is based on like how they use words and introducing their world. Like a comic writer by just I don't know the comic book feel to it. It's like okay, they just put the words in just so that way you can just breeze through it.
We should be the hype man for our artist. We should be accentuating. No, we are the really good side dish that just makes the entree even better. That is how I look at a good comic writer.
You're trying to take me out? This is way too nice.
As opposed to a good screenwriter where it's the waiter who does great service and you get to spit on him as he brings you the food. A comic writer is that really good side dish.
I hear you on that one. Yeah. I think to put it lightly, when the first campaign came out, not a lot of people, and if you look back on it, when the day hit and the final number came in, it was Jeremy Lott that said, dude, did you see what number you ended on? So if anyone can go back and see it, I'm going to tell you right now, my campaign number ended on 616. And if anyone knows what universe number that is, we always jokingly said, I think you got something in your future. Huh. Needless to say, on that day for it, I was like, yeah, man, if I ever get that far. And we're actually coming up 2 weeks from now, coming up to the 1 year anniversary of when I launched that first Kickstarter.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going to try to do something special. I'm still trying to think of it. But 1 year ago, this all started. And I hit that launch button and nobody came.
Oh.
Wow.
And it was 3 people that came to basically my aid to say, we'll help you out. It was Brian Ball and his marketing guys. Cody Fernandez of the Iron Comics.
Dude.
And Jeremy Lott.
Yeah,
Exactly. All 3 of them came in and basically said, we got you. We're going to be promoting you. And they kept pushing me every single day. And I fought every single day for those 44 backers, 41, I forget what it was. And I was only like maybe $110 over my goal because I only put it for 500. And I was like, holy cow. So we were all laughing when it ended on 616. Like, yeah, man, you really got this one done.
And now 2 back-to-back campaigns done in the first day.
Yes. And I'm looking to hire out people now, and I've already talked to those people, and we're gonna have what's gonna end up happening is we're gonna sit down and have a powwow, and we're gonna discuss the future of this particular brand and franchise because people seem to be resonating with it, and as we can see right now, people are really resonating with Sunchild already. We've got people here that are just simply here to just simply want to know more about this character. From a sales analytics, you do realize that, Paul. Most of these people are here to actually hear about this character right now. They want to know what's going on. Who is this guy? And to me, that's good. That tells me that we've got something here. We got something to work with.
Heck yeah.
So now we're moving into new territory of okay, how do we move forward with all this? Because even when I was on ICFIS channel, when we launched that first night of the second campaign, and it got funded that first day, and it was just like, okay, what is this? Where is this going? I had my little story I wanted to tell, just my own little building block about just a simple demon hunter. That was simply just my testimony and the trials and tribulations I've been through. It was a therapy piece. It was just for me to let out all my anger, frustration, and I don't want to go walking around punching people on the street. I'll do it in a comic. And now it's going into something that I'm not ready for. But there's a want and a demand, and God willing, I will meet that demand head on. And so, guys like Paul are going to be coming in, and they're going to help adjust things or make sure that we're doing something really good. I think that's where the Marvel movies succeeded after that first Iron Man came out. Think about how they were just on that first building block. That first Iron Man came out with Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. Now, whether anybody likes those movies, I don't care. I'm talking about from a sales, production, and the way that they grew those movies. the success of that movie allowed them to go and contribute to 3 more movies and keep building off of that success. So that's kind of what we're looking to do here is the success of one book is going to be the success of 3 more books or 5 more books, or it's going to allow me to bring in several more people and give people a chance that maybe didn't have a chance. And I want to help back with people that helped me, because I got a lot of help in the beginning. There was no doubt in my mind that I didn't do that alone. I had several people come up beside me and say, we see something here, let's keep going. So now it's time to return that favor. It's time to return that hand, and because there's some people that are not getting their content out and their quality. They've got quality work, and Paul is one of those guys that's got amazing work behind him.
Thank you.
Christopher, if you net them, you can punch them as much as you like. I got 5 kids. I don't want to go to jail yet.
Oh my god.
I got it's not good. That's a little bit of kid.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness.
Well, but I'm excited. Oh, my power turned off here. Give me 1 second. 1 second.
No
You're
problem.
good, buddy.
You're good, bud.
Ichthus, this is looking so good, dude.
Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, man. Trust me, man. It's like, I'm letting everybody know, because this is something like I tend to forget whenever I do my live coloring streams, especially like clients' work. I'm not guaranteeing you after this whole stream is over, this is like the final production of the colors. Like, I'm gonna spend a lot of more time compared just to my usual coloring stream, because one, I get to do it for fun, and I do it like under like 1 hour. Like, you have like an idea like how fast my pacing is just to get like one illustration done. But like when it comes to clientele work, like, okay, now my job is, 1, to get their money's worth, and 2, like, they're gonna earn twice as much than what they've gained off of me. And I also want, not only that, but this is like an awesome character that I'm already falling in love with it. And just hearing more about your character, man, is like, man, I want to give this character so much justice.
Oh yeah.
Then it's insane. Like the viewership, dudes. I mean, you guys were here since day 1. People are here just to know about Sunchild, and this is the most views I got since like this live stream. So, dudes, this is amazing.
Yeah, people are intrigued around this. This is good for us to even just kind of say, okay, this is what we can work with. And Paul, you've crafted a character, and people are sitting here going, they want to learn more about it. So that's got me excited, because we got something to work with.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be cool.
And for me, for everything that I have planned for Sunchild and I have on the back burner, it just is awesome and in a way hilarious to me, because we are really just scratching the iceberg of everything that people can expect if they invest in this character, and they get that deluxe edition, and they invest in Demon Hunter Raven, and they invest in this, they are in for a very, very special treat. And I think they'll see in whatever we do together for Sunchild, and with chapter 4, whenever that is, in the 2-pager, I think they'll see there. I want, because you will meet the other children, and I want that to be, an event, not like a DC or Marvel event where you get tired of things happening, but like, it is a special moment when you meet each of these 7 wonders. So
I like that. Yep. I'm adding way too much to my plate again. No, it's, I think this is looking fantastic. This is
it's looking so good. I love the shine on the metal there, and everything's great.
Yeah, guys, I'm just loving it so far, man.
Christopher says, combined with Paul's upcoming PowerPoint for success, they'll be unstoppable.
I'm just saying, man, that Tinder PowerPoint works so well for me. You would not believe it. That's all I want to say. So anyway, cut and scratch there.
I don't know who Lloyd. I'm gonna butcher your name, Lloyd. Cantu the second too. I'm sorry. He's got a question in there. Said, is there a certain way you like to set up your panels on each of your pages?
Yeah,
Or
let
a
me
second.
highlight him.
Okay, second technique that helped you learn how to set them up. So I'll start out with going with the Dragon Ball route. If you look at Akira Toriyama's manga, his panel progression, he sets up each action proceed after the other. That's one particular way you can do it. Is if you show someone jumping, one panel should be a guy jumping, and then the next panel should be the effect of it, like is he hitting someone? There's no real like rhyme or I mean, to tell a story contextually within one page is you want everything to make sense. This is kind of a little bit harder to answer because that could be a whole video on this. So to give a simple answer as to does the action flow on one page? Are you connecting, like what happened at the beginning of the page? Is it still connected to the bottom of the page? Does it take 3 pages to tell that story? It depends on the script. You and the writer talking to each other. From a visual perspective, is you want to keep the flow. You want to keep people, like we talk about the page turns. What happens on the last page to make you turn it over? You should be thinking about your impact visual representation of that moment, like page turners. Like that's why I say, oh, it was a real page turner. What gets the person to page to turn over? So the secrets behind that is they're really. I don't know if I really have any secrets or anything that really helped me, except that I kind of use like Brian Hitch, Akira Toriyama, and Tite Kubo as kind of my reference as to how I lay out a page. Is I don't do anything really elaborate. I don't do anything super crazy. I try to keep it really centered on the like a storyboard where it's just panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, and whether I need 3 on the top or 1, or I just need like 4 panels drop down. So because I want it to be like a movie where you're going from panel to panel. Because I know a lot of people hate it when Brian Hitch kind of did that widescreen panel effect across the page, because then so many people are doing it. But think of the lividity of the story and how you want people to emotionally grasp what's going on. Is it a discussion between 2 characters? Do you want them like bouncing it like a ping pong back and forth? Like what's the most important scene? Is it a person's gasping or an anger? Like there's too many ways to answer this question. So to simply say to set up your page, there is no one way to say it. It depends on your script, what you're trying to write, what you want to evaluate, and what you want to convey, and to think about your scene. What does it take to tell that scene? I can tell you, I hate when I have to draw 9 panels on a page because it's so many details and so many little actions. But then again, 3 panels sometimes feel like you're cheating out the reader because you want there to be comics are so expensive now, and if you're giving them 20 pages for $5 and they're 3 panels per page, those pages better be freaking glorious.
Yeah.
So to give you a really simple answer, think of the story, think of the connecting actions. Look at guys like Akira Toriyama. Look at guys like Brian Hitch. 2 extremely different examples of when Brian Hitch is more cinematographic. Oh my gosh, he's got more of that cinema style, where it's beats in between, where you're not always necessarily seeing every single action, but it flows so well that you can tell. And then Akira Toriyama is beat for beat, action for action, what's going on. So find an artist that and the way that he lays out his panel, and look at him and ask yourself, why does that work? What is it done? Jorge I'm gonna say it. He's the current artist on Batman. I can't even pronounce his name. Jorge Gisman. I don't know how you say his name. But he does a fantastic job where he does something called the impact page, and he'll make every page that where it's just it's a big panel on each page that draws your eye to it, and it's like a big centerpiece. So he's really known for doing that. And I've tried to adapt that lately, where my first 2 pages actually of the chapter 3, where Raven and Violet are running on the subway train, light rail. I'm sorry, it's in Minnesota. So that's where you have to think of where the eye goes, and is the eye going zigzag across? Is it readable? That's the best answer I can give. And I'm no expert. I do it wrong several times, so. Don't beat yourself over the head if you mess up, or if someone tells you messed up. It's no one gets it right except
Such
for
a
those
great question, and could be talked about forever? It's
Yeah.
it's a really, really good question, and it's good that you're thinking about it and pondering on it.
Whew. Like this is looking amazing.
Thank you.
Oh,
so
I know,
much.
right?
No, I'm just so honored. Like Nick, this is the amount of people that you've networked with and could have done the same thing like I have done, but you entrusted me in this character, and
I don't have time. This is my time off. I'm not drawing tonight. I'm watching.
Nick is a master of networking and conversations. Nick is the type of person that I genuinely feel like I could talk about the most. I don't know what morse are, but the most boring subjects and still have a good time just having a conversation because he is that sort of level of conversationalist. So
I'm gonna give you a little secret for how you do that. When you have 5 kids and they all come up to you and they all want to know something, and you just stand there blankly going, "Mm-hmm, yeah, okay," and then they walk away and you go, "I have no idea what you're talking about." What does string on a cheese have to do with anything?
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Man, good times.
No, I that actually has to go back with my previous job in marketing. Was I don't talk about it a lot, but I used to be an Affleck salesman, and part of that was I didn't make any money because it's all commission based. And when I got into the job, the pandemic hit, so every time I had a lead and they strung me along long enough, and I talked to them and they got me in the door, and we did several meetings and sit downs, and I'd jumble off about marketing, or I'm sorry, insurance sales and stuff like that. They'd be like, nice, and then I get into 3 meetings and then they just would stop responding to me. So a lot of that has to do with
hot.
You have your warm leads, your cold leads, and you're constantly making calls. So eventually it becomes part of your repertoire. I didn't have that before. I mean, if you look at my first campaign, I had no networking skills. So a lot of people don't know that in between those first 2 campaigns, from campaign 1 to campaign 2, I was actually in a marketing job in between. Like I picked up an actual marketing job in sales. And then COVID hit in between and I lost everything. It all went right
Dude,
down.
I'm with you there. My I enjoy people anyway. I'm pretty naturally extroverted. I enjoy the company of people and talking with people. But my my nonprofit job working at United Way and just having to cold call people and ask them for money is broken. That has broken down any barrier of uncomfortable conversation to begin with. So I'm with you there. Like a job like that will definitely help out.
Oh, it kills. Because one of the hardest part when I came to the job is people would ask you, well, if I don't get hurt, why do I need this? Well, that's not the point. It's when you do get hurt. But what if I don't? I know that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about when you don't. We're talking about if you do. I don't think I'm going to get hurt. You work in a car shop. It's bound to happen.
Something.
Statistically, yeah. Oh, and I spent like a whole 6 months going through tests and learning the ins and outs. And I mean, it was a good job. I had an office job. I was cushiony and traveled around a bunch. But at the end of the day, I never made I think I made enough sales to basically go and cry and not feed my family.
Love having a good cry and not feeding a family. Love that.
That was actually kind of a make or break it moment. Is when we decided to go full time with this, because I was making as much money with this as I was with the sales, and I wasn't passionate about it. I got to a point where I traveled an hour out of my way to go meet up with 3 clients to go do a meeting, and none of them were there. The place was shut down. No one was there, and I called them the day before, to make sure everything was still planned out. Got there, and they're like, "Yeah, the bosses aren't here today." I'm like, "Well, they signed up to me." They're like, "Yeah, they're not here today." I'm like, "What do you mean they're not here today?" By the third one, I call up my wife, and I'm like, "I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. This is BS.
It's horrible.
I'm just going to go home and draw." And I kid you not, I quit my job the day before the second campaign launched.
Wow. Hey, so far it's been a good investment, it seems.
So that was a scary moment. That was a very scary moment. If you ask my wife, she says I have a terrible history of when I quit my jobs, because each time that I quit my job, we found out we were pregnant. And I was like, oh, yay. quite literally came home the day that when she announced it was the third child, I just left the office. I was like, I'm done with this job. And then I came home and I was like, hey, I feel so good. She's like, no, you don't. I'm like, yes, I do. She goes, we're pregnant. I said, no, you're not. No, don't do this. I gotta go back.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, surprise. I'm like, no, put that surprise back. No.
Nope. Take it back to the store, wherever you got it.
And in my case, don't do that. If you find out your wife is pregnant, don't do that. It doesn't. They don't take it well. What do you mean you don't want this? I'm not saying that. It's just I don't have a job now. But yeah. So I got 5 kids to feed, and that's my own fault.
Good time.
Holy cow.
If I could tell the half of the stories, like when I worked in North Dakota out in the oil fields and just about killed myself in one of the jobs. Because a lot of people know that when you're working in the refineries, that they have on the actual oil rigs when they're drilling and everything, they have to the oil comes up and the water comes up at the same time, so you have to take off part of the liquid to get that pure oil.
Mm-hmm.
And methane gas comes out from it, and it's just natural. It's part of the natural gas that comes up from the earth, and they have to pipe it off because it comes so fast that they have to flare it off. So there's a constant fire stream coming off at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And during the wintertime, that's amazing because North Dakota is just flat land all around with no trees. And so you've got 20 mile per hour winds hitting you constantly because the wind's got nothing to slow it down. So it's just hitting you at full impact. So a lot of times you had these barrel-shaped domes to guard you. So you're standing behind this dome as the wind is curving around, and you're trying to find that perfect spot so that the wind is not hitting you. And so a lot of cases we go after those flare spots. Well, they're unpredictable. They're flaring off natural gas. So it's not like you're hitting a valve like, all right, I just want this much gas coming out. It's natural. It's coming at its own speed. And so you're just trying to stay there warm as it's spurting fire off at you, and you're like, well, I'm going to back up a little bit. And you're wearing actual fire retardant equipment because you would burst into flames based upon because it's oil, it's flammable, and there's flames next to you, and you're driving a giant semi truck with flammable liquids in it. So in the process, when they're drilling, they have giant rigs. Maybe you've seen the movies and everything where they've got the giant drills. They're going in there, and I got to be on several of those things up on the catwalks and everything. Because when you got your truck, you're hooking up to the actual dome and everything to siphon off the liquids and anything that they don't want when they're getting the stuff. And the funny part is in these particular early stages of mining the oil, the gas is coming up so potently that you don't have any way to gauge it yet because they haven't got it stable yet. And we were in the middle of winter, and it was negative 20 degrees outside. And we were standing there with our truck, siphoning off oil, and suddenly the ground started to shake. And that's not normal, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And we looked up, and the rig hands, the guys that are working on the rigs and everything, they look out over across the rig, and they start yelling. And we're like, oh, that's not good. And we look behind us where the flare is, and that thing, boom, shot up into the air. And it turned blue. The flame was blue. And it shot up and started hitting the ground. The flames didn't go out. So me and my driver, we look back up there and we look up. Those guys aren't on the catwalk anymore. They ran off. And we looked at each other like, maybe that's a sign that we should go. Because then the earth started shaking more because the gas was just so potentially coming up all the way. And when you're at these sites, you don't just drive in. You have to go up to what's called the company man. They're the ones that oversee the site and handle the day-to-day business. It's like if you walked into a grocery store, can I speak to the manager? That's who you'd be dealing with. And you can't leave until they okay you, until they sign off and said your job is done. So as the ground is shaking, we drive into the truck. That thing is spitting blue flames out of it. And we drive up to the company man's trailer, and we get out there, and we're trying to act nonchalant, like, yeah, we finished the job. We didn't finish the job, but we're gonna say it. We walk in there, like, yeah, it's all done. He's like, did you get it done? We're like, yep, we got it done. Yeah, for sure. And he's like, did you guys feel that rumbling? We're like, oh, yep, definitely. Yeah. He goes, my guy's still up there? And we didn't know how to answer. We're like, yeah, your guys are still out there. Like, yeah, good. Those P words are too not manly enough to stand the shaking, and they keep leaving as the rig is shaking back and forth, and you see the guys going, they're like, ah!
Oh no.
Yeah, needless to say, I didn't like that job.
Wow.
You can only imagine.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Well, I don't know how much longer you guys want to stay with this.
Such a great piece.
But Ekvis, I don't know how long you got for tonight, and Paul, how long you are.
Oh, dude,
It's not a school night, so I'm good.
I'm off on weekends, so I'm good.
There you go.
Oh man, I love this thing so much. It looks so good, Ekvis.
I like that purple in the background.
Yeah, I do too.
It's very complementary with the green of his robe, so that's why it really like gives the background that much of. Oh man,
and it works for reasons that you don't even know yet. So colors are very important. That's all I'm gonna say. Colors are very important, and you did something fantastic for this without even realizing it.
Dude, trust me. Like I would get like I did one like what was it? It was on the Drawn Talk Discord, and the guy was looking for colors and stuff, and I'm not at this peak where you guys see me now. Like I was just trying to learn, and
right.
And he's like, oh, the comic it's dark and stuff, and he saw like the stuff that I showed. There were really bright colors, so that was my thing. Like, but he's like, I told him like, oh, like I'll do like 2 pages for free just to try me out and see how fast I am doing these color pages of these panels. Well, I learned now after I talked to Tyler. To like one, ask for the original, pages for the colorist, so that way how the comic was, because I had no idea like what he wanted for the comic to be and stuff. But I'm really like coloring blind, so I have no idea. No pun intended, but like I was literally coloring and doing my best just to like try to make it dark. I don't know what, but long story short, like I didn't get the job, but he has me under his contacts, and any projects that he's going to be working on that would be well suited for my coloring style, which are bright colors. He'll hit me up. And the funny thing is too, like later on, once I saw his book, I was able to interpret his characters like his clothing, like his like colors of his hair, highlights, like everything was on point. The only thing I wasn't able to hit was the pants. But I remember his comment was like, it's very interesting your color choices, like how you use for the character. Mind you, like I had no reference of it whatsoever. I was literally doing it blindly. So
I hate when people don't give me reference. Which Paul is not guilty of whatsoever. That guy.
I will give you more than what you need.
They gave me a Bible, and I was like, all right, well, I figure out how to do.
The actual Bible? No kidding.
He did. Yeah. Leviticus was the hardest one to interpret, but it was.
Oh my gosh, dude! Don't get me started with Leviticus, dude. I thought I never would finish reading Genesis.
Oh. It's a funny story. Genesis will play into this story later on down the line.
Oh man, I can't wait.
I mean, we're dealing with biblical stuff here. Might as well play with the actual stuff that's in there.
Yeah, right. That's another thing too. That was like a huge achievement because I remember it happened with Tyler when he was promoting Demons and like I don't know Kickstarter has this page where like like new releases of books and stuff, and he saw that his thing was not on the new book releases.
Oh, okay.
And he says, "Oh, well, how come my thing is not there?" They're like, "Oh, well, your book is religious and stuff." And because the reason why is literally the opening of his first page was the first chapter of Genesis. It was the first panel, so that's why he didn't get that feature. So, funny thing now is just moving forward is like now you have this awesome character that's pretty much like kind of like Narnia in a way. Like it has hidden Christian meanings behind it, but it's not in your face. Like unless you're very self-aware of the references and meanings behind it.
Right. Well, that brings up a question that I mean, me and my wife talk about this every once in a while, but media across the board, I feel like we could say that I don't want to use the word persecuted, but we tend to be alienated in terms of our beliefs in a lot of mediums. And I feel like comics is heavily in that way, that even if you're in that section of supposedly making Christian comics or faith-based comics, I feel like you're immediately blacklisted, and I don't care if you don't believe in the same stuff we do. Like for me, Demon Hunter Raven is using the archetypes of Christianity, because I am a Christian and it's going to be from that point of view, but you don't have to be a Christian to enjoy it. You don't have to believe what I believe to enjoy it, or to even, like, it's not even a preaching thing. I'm not out there being like, hey, you got to believe this. I feel like a lot of people don't give it a chance the minute they hear that, or that they think that that's part of it. Because remember when I was really early trying to get started out, people assumed that there was too many religious ties to it and wouldn't even give me a chance. Like, they'd be like, yeah, we got plenty of openings for your show. I'd be like, hey, here's my book, and they'd be like, we have no openings. And you're like, what do you mean you have no openings?
Everyone thinks that when you say you are a Christian who is creating something, they automatically think that you're like those Sherwood Films guys. What is it, Facing the Giants or whatever?
Oh, yes.
And that they think you're going to be over the top, beating them in the head with your message, instead of putting God in the blueprint, right?
Yes.
That's what we're doing. I mean, there's going to be some times where you might see some questionable words and some questionable actions and bump back, but I promise that God is still in the blueprint of growth and second chances and things like that, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's important. Is I think that's also in the music industry. Is you have your Christian music, and it can be so easily put into that box. And I think that's the hardest part, is getting outside of that box to prove that you're not corny. I think a lot of those movies are just horribly corny. I mean, I don't think I found one actual thing that's labeled Christian that I personally.
100%. I went to a Christian university and studied film, and not a single one of us in that entire major wanted to work in Christian media. And our professor encouraged us. A Christian professor at a Christian university encouraged us to not work with churches or not work in Christian media.
Right.
So, and not even necessarily in just a go out and preach sort of thing, but just like it's just a small circle of people patting each other on the back.
It really is. Yeah. Well, and there can only be so many movies about youth pastors. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, I could care less.
And they're never wearing skinny jeans, so I don't believe it as realistic.
I was a youth pastor for a short while, and I did have skinny jeans. So true story.
It was a trend, guys. It was a trend.
It's still a trend in some places. You can travel to some churches, and they're still in skinny jeans and the slick back hair, and you're like, man, that was really 2000s, buddy.
Yeah, man. What was it? No, but not only that, guys. I mean, we're pretty much persecuting our own people too. Because if you really think about it, because I remember, I think it was Grok, that the creator for Tribulation Task Force, like I believe he approached a Christian store, and they denied him to even put it on their shelf, because I don't know if it's either him or other Christian creators, but the thing is that how they feel is that they don't want any superheroes to have these kids feel like, oh man, like this character is way cooler than Jesus. He doesn't fly.
And then they suddenly start calling it witchcraft. Like they don't.
Exactly.
You can't play in it. Like this one always blew my mind. I knew this kid. We were talking, and I was talking about my love for Ninja Turtles. I was like, man, I love Ninja Turtles. He's like, yeah, my mom wouldn't let me watch that. And I was like, why? He goes, witchcraft. I was like, how is that witchcraft? He's like, the mutagen. I'm like, what? What? So, but then he ended up going a different route because they were so strict on what he could see. Right. Which, parents have the right to choose what their kids can and can't see, but they were a little too blinded by so many things that it was nothing.
And then sometimes those kids go absolutely bonkers when they do have free will.
Yes, so. I know a few of those kids. Holy cow. They're definitely interesting. characters.
And also, just because it's on my mind and I don't want to forget, Nick, I finally know what to put on the banner for our story. So I don't know how far along you are on that. If you are far along, it's okay.
Okay.
But for the banner on some child stuff, I have figured out what to put on there. So
Okay.
if you haven't,
it's all blank right now. It's
Beautiful.
just I got the flats on there, so I can easily still input stuff on top of it.
Okay, perfect.
Because I'm in the middle of trying to get those finished. So tomorrow morning I'll be sending those off to you.
Beautiful.
To check over, because I ended up hitting a bit of a slag this morning when I was coloring something, and I was like, "Oh no!" So I went back and refixed a whole entire 6 pages.
It's all Christy Yamaguchi, I promise.
Christy Yamaguchi.
Christian. She the one that got was she the one that got hit in the leg? The ice skater?
No.
Who am I thinking of? She's a soap opera actress. I can't remember who that is.
Christy Yamaguchi is a skater.
Okay.
But not the one that you're thinking.
Tanya Harding, that's who I'm thinking of.
Tanya Harding is the one who hit the other person. So allegedly.
And I only think of that song because of the Weird Al version of it, they did the redo of the I forgot their name. I just showed that music video to my kids a few weeks ago, and they're just like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you go to another country and you make stuff on people's walls, they're gonna spank your butt. So be good in other countries, kids." Yeah, I don't know how that preference is on anything.
Anyway. So Nick, how are you feeling about the current numbers for Demon Hunter Raven?
It's good. I haven't even looked at it in a while.
Over 4,079 backers.
Yeah. I'm kind of in that mode though that I'll appreciate it after the campaign's done, and then kind of realize where it's at. Like right now, it's drive. It's keep pushing. You
when
gotta be
it's not
excited.
a stressor in your life.
It is and it isn't. It's like it's both worlds where you're just like you're happy at the same time, like, wow, I can't believe I'm there. But at the same time, you can't be lax with it. You're like, well, I gotta keep pushing. I can't just be happy with an hour's worth or today's worth. And I think the hard time is determining, because I don't decide who backs. I don't be like, yeah, you're backing. I'm getting it's nice to have those. I laugh when people, and I laugh when I do it too, when people put up those, I want to get 80 backers by this Saturday. You have no choice over how many backers you're getting by Saturday. There's no possibility. But and then we put those stupid numbers in our head, and but
numbers
I know it also
are dumb. Words are hard. Numbers are dumb.
Exactly. But by the end of it, I'll be in that mode to appreciate where it ended. But right now it's drive. It's in full force. It's campaign mode. It's marketing mode. So, it's cool though. I'm still not expecting it. Where we're at with this campaign right now is where we were at 3 weeks into it last time. So
incredible.
And to be honest, the money is piling more because there's more content now, and there's a lot of new readers picking up more content. So
true.
It's I can't think of the word it is, but it's probably going to be it's cool. It's cool. I don't know how to perceive it yet.
Cool is a great word. It's a great word.
It is a very cool word.
Ernest Hemingway said it was silly to think that big words mean big ideas. Cool is a great word.
Very cool.
That is a great word.
Very cool. Keep it and my rule always around the house is keep it simple, stupid.
Kiss. I love it.
Yes. If no one can understand you, then oh my goodness, you're in trouble.
That's when there's a problem.
There's a problem. There is a problem. Which is kind of funny because I was looking at the colors for your stuff today, and I was doing more of a sepia tone with certain images, like certain scenes, to kind of play with the time and the back and forth. And the current day stuff is just dreary, dark, depressing, like your blues and monochromatic colors. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I finally figured it out how to switch back between a certain time frames and the current, and then establishing the current day. And because I'm still, I was telling Ichthus this, I'm still learning about the theory of color, and I watch his stream to kind of get in that mind, that thought process, because Color elevates a product or a project to a whole entire different status.
Oh, absolutely. I recommend, and this is going to sound stupid, but the trilogy genuinely is in my top greatest films of all time. Watch Kung Fu Panda 1 with the commentary on, and they talk about color theory. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Like they talk about
No, go ahead, Paul.
They talk about Tai Lung, who is the antagonist of movie 1, and how they look at orange as the hero color in Kung Fu Panda, and because Tai Lung looks at himself as the hero of his own story, they decided to give him orange eyes, while blue is the negative color of the film. And so, even though he is the negative presence in the film, he is still the hero within his own eye. And that sort of stuff is just absolutely brilliant to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's again another reason why I absolutely love those movies. But that's where I've learned pretty much all my color stuff is from Kung Fu Panda.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of resonated with the stories, especially the second one about dealing with pain. And
the second's the best.
I watched that for that same year it came out, and we had it on DVD, and I was by myself, and the ending came when he's standing up between those guys, and he's like, "I'm no longer, my past no longer has taken me in," and man, I had a few tears coming down. I was like, "Yeah, my past doesn't." Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, "Whoa, it's good."
Better than Citizen Kane, Kung Fu Panda.
But no joke though. Like DreamWorks always has had a very way with lights, shadows, and color. Like my boys are heavy into How to Train Your Dragon right now.
Oh, and, great!
The lightning atmosphere and all that stuff is like even just the insides, like when they're in buildings and the way that it's lit and the textures. It's like how do you represent that? How do you get that? And I don't know. It's cool. I could talk all day about that and stuff.
Heck yeah.
Oh man, this is what I get for being up since 5 a.m. and the kids waking up.
Oh man, dudes. So dudes. I mean, I'm loving this stream so far. I'm really happy how the coloring is going so far.
This is turning out really nice.
Yeah, man.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm a big thinker. My problem is I usually think big picture more than I think little details in my life.
You're not.
Yeah, right. True.
But I see this and I see the start, and I hope one day that we have a beautiful print where we can get Ichthus to color. We'll say all the kids. That's all I'm just going to refer to them as the kids until there's more to be revealed. But I just imagine a beautiful print colored by Ichthus with all the kids. This is the start for sure of something
people
beautiful.
are going to come back to the stream later, a year from now, and be like, "Oh my gosh, they were planting so many seeds and we didn't even realize it." They were telling us everything and we didn't even realize it. We're straight up telling you guys stuff. And it's going to be fun when you come back to this and be like, "Oh, they did tell us. We weren't listening."
And I get to and I get to know everything behind the scenes after this stream is over. So
I got to be back for 1 second, guys.
Oh, you're good, man. Dick. You're good. I'm
2
here.
minutes.
No problem. I'll never leave you with this.
You're so kind.
No, dude, you are the kind one. Are you kidding me? Dude, first of all, you're just a genuine person. You have one of the best personalities of anyone I've ever met. You are so genuinely kind, nonstop. Like there is no off button that I've seen, at least. I'm sure it happens because we're all human, but you are just so kind and such a good role model for the community of indie comics. And I hope that more people continue to gravitate towards you and your channel and watch the amazing colors that you do, but also observe the amazing personality that you have. Thank you for doing stuff like this, and thank you for promoting people in the community and giving people a voice and a place to share their voice. It's really special what you have going on here. I appreciate you, brother.
No, thank you, Paul. I mean, dude, it's like, no, I think like since literally day one from this stream, dude, it's like, I'll have days where I'm like, gosh, am I really gonna be streaming? Until like whenever I see you and Nick, unfortunately Nick is not here, but once he gets to the playback, with you and Nick, every time you guys retweet, is like you guys honestly hype me up, and I'm like, oh man, it's like I gotta do this because now it's out there. It's like before, like when I started Twitter, it's like it's just zero and zip, but now that I have a better idea of it, is like in the like networking and building a community, it's been smooth and it was very like right now, dude, this week has been like insane for me. It's like good, like you've seen it. I did a stream where we did a launch party for Scott. I'm super excited.
Go back to flock.
Yeah, man, back in the flock. A few people tweeted that they got my variant, and I'm like so blown away. Still to this day, I'm still blown away. Like everyone chose my variant. And even doing a poster, like freaking Scott gave me another chance. He had me, color Elliot's poster for the flock. That was awesome. Yeah, man, it's like pretty much my goal for this channel is, like you guys are part of this journey of me growing as a comic artist, and like you guys have seen how my pace is with coloring and stuff, my thought process, and I'll say it out loud, and not only that, like I don't want this whole live stream to be about me. I want this live stream to be very focused on you guys, and I've gone through a lot of streams, and I'm very like I want to be interacted with not only the host of their channel, but also the community. Community is very important in these chats, and
oh,
they have
amen.
no idea about it. And just to you just have to recognize it. And I want to make sure too is like I recognize each and every individual here in this chat that is still awake at this time. I mean, if you're in the Eastern time zone, it's 11:19. So guys, and there's even some people that I find out later on, like they're literally across from the other side of the world, that it's like 5 or 4 in the morning and they're still awake just to watch me color. Like I literally am, I'm blown away by this. Like, geez Louise, like, is our time is so genuine based on the choices we make. And that you just make this one little, like, maybe for you guys is a little sacrifice to stay up late and just watch me color this, not knowing if maybe this is going to be the final product of this color or not.
Right.
But if you guys just stayed and interact with me and to interact with the chat, like to me that means so much. And I just hope that it resonates and becomes contagious, because again, like, I'm being genuine as it goes. I don't want to be how can I say how can I say either like a broken record or sappy, but I am who I am. I keep myself to be consistent. I want to as far as I've seen within the indies community, I don't know drama. Drama somehow comes to me based on the people I follow.
Yeah.
And because of that, it speaks volumes of who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And, who is the one that's going to bring you up or who's going to bring you down. And you guys right here in this panel, like everyone in this chat, you guys bring me up. I mean, literally, like this channel would not continue without you guys, and certainly, like, sorry, dudes, I'm just trying to process everything.
It's all good. Words are hard,
and and just processing this, it's just insane. But just you guys in particular, and even Tyler too. Like, I can't leave Tyler out because he's the main reason why I'm even doing this.
Same.
Is is just have a silly goose time, be good with your community, and surround yourself with people that are not only going to uplift you, but you feel like, okay, like I want to be competitive. Like now with
Right.
Nick, like now I want to be competitive with Nick. Now with
geez.
Paul, I gotta like make sure like I gotta at least get JRPG out. Like not even crowdfunding, just the story itself, just to like have people at least know like, oh, this guy actually draws. He just does not color,
And I'm so ready for it, brother.
I think that's the fun part. It's more to support each other rather than create rivalries or fake drama or
Oh gosh, yeah.
unrealistic things. I think it's more fun to see people coming together and create these camaraderies and see things expand. So I think we've seen too much like falling apart and people kind of going their own separate ways over mishandled, mistreated things. Nancy Kerrigan. That's
quick shout out to Christopher C for catching up on the stream clearly, and hopefully we see you at live at some point. Thank you for the Nancy Kerrigan mention there.
Yeah. Oh, geez. I forgot Jay Esmond's on the stream too. Dudes, you guys got to look into Jay Esmond, man, because, I mean, this guy,
that
he
looks
does...
familiar, but I can't remember who that is.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry. I certainly know who it is. Jay is such a fantastic and talented dude. He's so kind and genuine dude. And he's making everything happen, man. Like, he has a hit webtoon series called Aerosol. If you guys like graffiti and future-esque sci-fi thriller, dude, like, you guys gotta check out Aerosol. He's gonna make a huge release on I believe, gosh dang it, I wish I remember this other one. I always have a hard time.
Didn't you color?
Will you put the title in the chat?
I'm sorry, what? Did I ever colored one of Jay's characters?
I swear because you've had him on here, or because I remember you talking about this guy before. The Aerosol, that sounds familiar because I think I have it bookmarked on my webtoons. Yeah, I'm on webtoons. I read webtoons.
Yeah, me too, dude.
We're all about to when Chefs launches on webtoons.
Yes.
Macroverse.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing I keep forgetting is Macroverse. Thank you so much, Jay. Yeah, he's making a big release of Aerosol and Macroverse, and it's not like webtoons where you can just put it out and everything. No, you have to like have a really good product that would bring your audience to their platform, and it's like subscription based and everything. So it's
because Nander Schaefer, I'm screwing up his name. He's got Seasons debuting on there. That's what he says. Seasons is on there too. So
yeah, man, premium quality product in the webcomic space.
Right. I still can't believe that Tyler's going to webtoons.
Yeah, I mean, he's been saying that since 2020, but we just never. I honestly like talking to Tyler daily, and he always talks about webtoons in his live streams, but we just don't know what the heck it is. And now with Chefs, it's such an amazing concept and ideas. Like, oh, he's gonna bring in a Kickstarter and stuff, and like, I cannot wait for it until like after I ended the Flock Kickstarter launch party. That's when Tyler came in, like literally 10 minutes after the stream ended. And when he told me and Scott about it, like we were like,
yeah, that was a shock to everyone.
Yeah, man.
I think it's great, and actually having a reason to go on the webtoons now instead of telling myself 30,000 times that I'm going to see why Lore Olympus is so popular. Other than when women I talk to enjoy it. I'm excited to finally have a legit reason to go on and support someone who I know, who I want to see succeed. And Tyler is such a good ambassador for the community. I hope that he is just the leader in getting people on webtoons, because I see the benefit of crowdfunding. I do, but I do also genuinely see that not everyone needs to do it, and you don't always need to do it at the beginning. Like, there's some stuff when you have something like what Nick has going on, or what any of these people who are putting out like these big products. Someone like me does not need to necessarily kickstart a floppy. I'm even considering just going Gumroad and donation based for issue 1.
The reason why you go to crowdfunding, though, is just simply you bring your crowd there, and then it's to expand your already. Because each time I've done it, it's boosted up my platforms, and if you don't have a platform already, you're missing a lot of opportunities. So it's really used as a big marketing move. So there are benefits, and there are also a lot of cons to it as too.
But, no, I feel you.
Yeah. Christopher, I hate dialogue garbage.
I think he's talking about
Laura Olympus.
Brian Bendis.
Sunchild is actually just a bunch of dialogue bubbles over Nicholas's beautiful art. I just talk for about 30 pages worth of content for just 6 pages.
Yeah, 6 pages.
Yeah. And it's covered all of the stuff that he worked so hard on, and we're both really excited about it. It's just a bunch of dialogue bubbles.
What is with him in that one page where it's just one person talking? It's balloons everywhere, and then on the face.
That is hard. That page is harder to read than 50 pages of French realism. Henri de Balzac's 91 book human comedy is easier to read than that one page of comic, which is insane, because comics should flow. Scripts should flow faster than books, and comics should flow faster than scripts.
Right.
And
there's a time and place to do that. Yeah. So, Paul, I'm curious. Finish your thought.
Well, nothing is really worse than the news updates that Todd McFarlane does in Spawn. Those are the worst, and I always skip those whenever those come across. How do I say this? I'm new to comic writing. Like I said, my background's in screenwriting, but I think a comic writer should become a master of saying as little as possible.
True.
Like, how good can you write by saying as little as possible? You get to set up the shots, right? You're describing the shots. That should be good enough. Like, the artist is going to get more credit for that because they are making the beautiful freaking art of that. But, you also get to have your little part in setting up that shot, at least the idea of it.
Right.
Take credit in that, take some comfort in that, outside of just dialogue bubbles. Go ahead, whatever you were saying.
I just realized I read that wrong. It says, I hate digital garbage. I read it as dialogue garbage.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Wow, my bad, guys.
It's all good. I'm sorry, Brian Bendis.
I was going to ask
you.
It
was my next door neighbor.
I was going to ask you, Paul, though. Who are some of your favorite comic writers? Since you're newer to it, who have really resonated with you?
Why can't I remember his name? Well, Stephen King's son, Joe Hill? No. I forget what he goes by. Stephen King's son, who did Lock and Key.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Gerard Way. So, Umbrella Academy and and Lock and Key. Umbrella Academy is actually, I would say, probably a big inspiration for some of what Sunchild's larger story will deal with. Not as much of a comedic sort of deal there, but there is that sort of effed up family. Let's see here. I enjoy. Why am I struggling? You know what? Here's the issue is I couldn't probably tell you too many comic writers that I really, really enjoy. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it is I like those two comics a lot, and because if I went on and I said much more, I would probably be BSing you. If I and that's genuine. That's genuine. I enjoy comics, but I have yet to see many past those two stories where outside of like what I enjoy from our indie community, even I don't want to say this. I want to say this without. I don't want this to sound like a problem, because this is not meant to be a drama statement or anything like that. But like I see Adam as a really excellent creative writer mind, but like outside of that, I don't see too many indie writers who are hyped up a lot as being as good as what people are saying without the asterisk of as an indie creator. So I don't want that to say, that's not meant to be a drama statement. That's just a genuine storyteller statement. And I don't think I'm that. I don't think I'm anything super spectacular myself either. So it's not like I think I'm better. It's just I don't think there's too many. There are screenwriters and there are novelists who inspire me as a comic writer. Right. So I hope that doesn't sound offensive to comic writers or anything like that, or anything of that sort. But I take more inspiration from non-comic writers than comic writers.
That really reminds me of Frank Miller, because I've listened to several interviews with him where he said, if you want to bring fresh new material from it, don't be reading comics, because then you're just regurgitating the same thing over and over. You got to go outside the source and take inspiration from things outside of your corner. And that, I think that's really a key in there. So then, if to then deviate off of that question, it doesn't have to be writer art, but what in particular series have you just you can't put down? Like, what have you really been digesting lately
in terms of comics?
Yeah, let's go with comics. Yeah,
Demon Hunter Raven is a series I'm really interested in. It's really dope. Now, I know this might be blasphemy to some, but I think all sequential art form is comics or is manga. That's a crazy idea, I know. But I have been enjoying like One Piece and JoJo's as well. But I just put all sequential art together. I know there are differences, but also I think people would rather there be differences than not differences, or than similarities. So I've been reading those as well, which One Piece has been super inspirational. I think also in terms of comics, I've really enjoyed Chew. I think Chew is brilliant. I think Rob Gilroy is a master. Farmhand is fantastic. What is the other thing here? Shoot. I've already mentioned Demon Hunter Raven, which is like so great. By the way, you can back Chapter 3 right now on Kickstarter. Let's see here. There's more, but again, if I go much deeper than that, it's probably BS. So at that point, I'm just going to call it the cutoff point. How about you?
Oh, man. Well, while I'm working, I like to kind of find inspiration and stuff. But I've been reading a lot of, I'm going to butcher the name, Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
this
has
sounds
been-
very familiar.
Yeah, it's got a current anime that's running right now. And then I've really gotten into Fire Force, but that has to do with kind of what is coming up afterwards and what I've been working with. So you'll probably
Yeah.
see some inspiration into these next few chapters from that because, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, they've been really awesome. But my kids have gotten me back into Power Rangers, so I've been picking up Boom
Oh,
Studios
good.
Power Rangers, and
Yeah.
Ooh.
it's good. I mean, it's like what you wanted out of the original series, where like
Yeah.
they didn't take it like a goofy sitcom show. They've actually given it the weight of like, the Power Rangers are actually fighting evil and good. So
Love
it's
it.
and aesthetically, the designs and the artistics, like that's how I discovered Dan Mora, the artist who
Oh, he's so
he
good.
is so good.
Fantastic.
His common inspired Batman pieces
Yes,
are so good.
yeah. So those are what I'm into, but when I'm working, I've got a plethora of like a library off to the side here that I'm pulling from constantly just to see how someone approached that same idea. How can I expand upon it, and visually, how do I want to do something? So like Fire Force and Jujutsu Kaisen are just like some of my favorites, but Bleach has always been far down one of my biggest influences. I love how
Right.
Taikubo handles a lot of his stuff. I don't know. I don't really look at mainstream anymore. Like I'll look at the current Batman artist. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I'll embarrassingly embarrass myself trying to pronounce his name. But
Names are hard.
Yes. But his style has been so kind of. I want to elegantly put that into my work a little bit. How he puts the energy and kinetic flow into all of his panels, and how you can feel the characters actually doing what they're doing on the panel. Like they add weight, and they feel like they're doing what they're doing. I'm looking off to my stuff over here. What have I been reading? Yeah, otherwise I think. Oh, I just recently, in terms of off stuff, I've really got into Persona 5.
Wow.
That is, I just discovered it about a month ago, and I've been while I'm drawing, I've been watching the anime on Hulu and everything,
Mhm.
and
Black
that's just
Clover.
been- Black Clover. I just saw the first episode.
No, I was trying to guess.
Oh,
I don't know what it would be.
um,
Samurai Champloo.
that is a good show. I remember when that was on
Great
Adult Swim late
So
night.
good. So good.
That was amazing. Yeah, that was a good show. Yeah, otherwise I have to stick to a lot of like mindless YouTube channels just to keep my mind blank, so I'm focusing
Oh.
on stuff.
Same.
I've gotten big into these scammer payback people, like Kit Boga. And I'll watch like 4-hour streams of them doing that just so I can focus on drawing, and they're just sitting there
Yeah.
like, working with scammers, and I'm like, I love it. I'll watch 4 hours every day.
I feel you.
I had one call me today, and I was just like, yeah, I think I was on the phone with him for 15 minutes. I was like, yeah, my name's John. I'm single and I have no kids. How did I get this Amazon package? I don't know.
I have no
talk.
kids to feed.
I played someone else for a day.
Oh, man, that's funny.
But yeah, I don't know.
So Nick, what is I don't know. Let me think of this. What are some hopes? I was going to say, what is a hope? What are some hopes you have for next year, Demon Hunter Raven, and 5 years from now, Demon Hunter Raven?
Ooh.
Yeah, no, those are good questions because from a business standpoint, they teach you to have like a 5-year plan and a 1-year plan, and like to plan out. Hey, are you meeting those goals? How do you set it up? Because like you don't want to just jump into this stuff all like willy nilly.
Yeah.
So I can tell you right off the bat, 5 years from now, I want to start getting some sort of workings of an animated show input, whether it's like a pilot or something. I already know some guys. It's just a matter of getting enough content into the framework and setting up enough the pillars so that like when something does come out there, people can come back and buy products. And I'm talking about an actual animated show. So it's just a matter of where. Yeah. So it's just a matter of where are we at in 5 years from now? Is that an attainable goal? So a year from now, I'm on chapter 3 right now. I've got a tentative release date of November, but I want to have it out by June. So it just matters. It's just a matter of whether I can keep pumping out stuff. As then to introduce Sunchild, I've got a second book, and then get Chapter 4 started. And I'll tell you guys right off the bat, Chapter 3 is going to be a one part of a 3-part series that's going on right now.
Oh.
We're opening up with Nocturnal Moon, and it's going to be
Great
spoiler
title.
if you have not read any of these chapters, mute the stream for a few minutes because I'm going to get into some heavy spoilers here.
I'll type in the chat when it's typed.
Okay. So Chapter 3 is titled Nocturnal Moon because in the last few chapters we've had the Coven in the background, and the very opening of Chapter 1 is with the Raven and the Order going against the Coven Witch. And then Chapter 0 is obviously them going into a club. That was the Coven. So they've been everywhere. We're actually going to discover that they've been implanted into the Twin Cities for centuries. And we're going to discover why and how. And we're going to learn that they're very in-depth involved in the political system of the Twin Cities, that they've been established there for a long time, and we'll discover why in the story. And then Chapter 4 is titled The Orphan. And Chapter 3 is a lot about the dynamics of Raven and Violet and them going and their teamwork, because if you notice at the end of Chapter 2, she's just coming back into play. We don't know who she is, so Chapter 3 is to explore who she is and discover her character, which then will launch her into her own series later on the line.
So excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
So Nocturnal Moon is going to be playing with the witches, the Coven, and it's just going to be a really fun action book. And then I'm just going to throw you for an absolute twist at the end, and it's going to completely throw you for everything. So Chapter 4 is called The Orphan. And so there's been a lot of people that's like, why has Adam never dealt with the loss of his father? What's happened there? And that will directly tie into that. And to be as absolutely vague as possible, Chapter 5 is a giant event roller coaster. All hell breaks loose, and it's called The Blackout.
Ooh.
And then after that, we basically have a whole entire reset. It's a whole entire new status quo, because Chapter 4 is going to be where we're going to be bringing in a whole new slew of characters, where the Demon Hunter universe is going to expand beyond that point. And I don't want to give out names yet because I don't have trademarks or copyrights for some of the stuff yet. So, but it's to then start debuting new characters like Sunchild, such and such, Redacted.
For so long, that was his name.
I love that. Excuse me. But yeah, it's really to explore this interwoven place, and to the Twin Cities is just more than demon hunters. There's vigilantes, and then I'll start revealing the military groups in there and just the social economics of the place. So that's where I'll be bringing in my brain trust to help me explore that, because I've got to sit and design, I've got to work on the pages, and I've got the big picture. Now I need help putting all the things into place. So we're going to kind of have a Marvel movie universe sort of setup where I'm going to have teams, and we're going to explore stuff, and we're going to put some stuff together. So we're going to have, not saying we're going to use a formula like the movies, but we're going to explore different areas. Demon Hunter will still be the main title. It will still be where the bread and butter is made and where events are occurring. But we'll be able to explore into other avenues and discover what is this world outside it, because demon hunting and the supernatural is just one part of it, but how does the rest of the world react to this? Mm-hmm. And so I'm really excited. So a matter of being able to conceptualize all those ideas. I've got all my concept papers here. I just need help realizing them. So I'm going to be fast tracking a lot of stuff that I did not expect to be doing. So a year from now, I'll be introducing a few new characters and heading into my event phase. And events for me aren't like what Marvel and DC does it, where it's like, it's there's gonna be a gravitas to them. They're important. It's a moment in time. Because for me, my events in my books will be moments and times where people refer back to that. Like I always loved in Daredevil, the Netflix show, when they referred back to the incident in New York from Avengers. It had a particular moment that everyone can refer back to that, and it even created certain catalysts and new character moments. So yeah, I'm really excited. And then I'll see how the reception is to that, and I'll see how I move forward. So because my marketing plan is always a 3-month sort of idea. Is I look how people are responding to things, what's working, what's not, what do I need to dial back, what do I need to go bigger on, and then I reestablish those goals after 3 months. because that's the hardest part is to be flexible, but yet still move ahead on your plans. Because I always loved this story was when Captain America #3 was coming out before it was going to be Civil War. Is DC announced that they were going to do Batman versus Superman, and Kevin Feige just walked into the Marvel writers' office and he just said, "All right, Civil War," and they were like, "What?" It was to meet the demand of what their competitors were bringing to the table. Is that whatever they had at that moment? They said, "We've got to up our game. We can no longer be playing it safe. We have to meet what our competitors are doing." So from a business standpoint, I try not to have something too in-locked. I try to be as flexible as possible because I can already tell you as of this morning, I decided to do something different that I'm not going to reveal for until after the campaign. And when people get their packages, it's going to actually say what's coming up next and when they can expect it.
Wow.
So it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, man.
Can't wait.
Can't wait either. So I think it'll be an appropriate time to end the stream. I would hate to do this, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta pull the plug because Nick is sharing so much information that I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Nick says, "Hey, Nick, it's time to delete the stream."
Cut the stream.
This is the ending of Demon Hunter Raven.
He was supposed to die in the last chapter.
Adam's actually been dead for 3 chapters.
Yeah, this is all in his dream. It's actually Violet. It's the Demon Hunter. Those covers are fake, by the way.
Oh, okay. Kind of. It reminds me of another movie, but I just cannot put my finger on it.
Yeah, what was that again?
What was that again? Huh. Whatever. But anyways, dudes, I'm gonna highlight you guys. You guys have a moment to chill, and then I'm gonna let my audience know what am I up to this coming weekend. Because, dude, I'm just so freaking busy this coming weekend. It's just not only my personal life, but also just branding myself and bringing myself out there into the indie community within the comic scene. So, we already had Nick talking so much, but, we're going to have Paul have a moment just to finally talk about himself and what are his plans and all the good stuff that I'm just so excited for him. So, dudes, I'm going to have the pleasure to highlighting Paul and just have a moment just to listen to this dude. All right, Paul, you are live.
All right. Hello, you beautiful people. Once again, my name is Paul Tucker. I am the Cavalry Collective in the chat. I am a writer and creator for a comic called Bump Back. And you can follow me on, let me put that there, twitter.com, Paul T. Writes, on Twitter. But yeah, Bump Back is a story of horror movie cannon fodder characters getting a second chance at life by becoming the monsters that would usually be killing them or eating them on screen for our entertainment and having a chance to grow. People like the dumb jock become a warlock, preppy princess becomes a mummy, and learns to share her body with 7 or 8 other people. You get a chance to enjoy all the aspects of horror and superhero comics while also getting a chance to poke fun of them. I am also the creator and writer behind the character of Sunchild, designed and drawn by Nicholas Muller, who is the creator of Demon Hunter Raven. Again, you can follow me at Paul T. Writes on both Twitter and Instagram. And I just really appreciate you being here in the chat tonight and supporting Nick, supporting myself, supporting Ichthus. And please make sure you hit the like button on Ichthus's video and subscribe as well. Hit the bell notification so you make sure that you're on the up and up whenever he's doing one of his awesome coloring streams. Thank you.
I like how Neostar just realized now that Paul is the Calvary Collective in the comments. That's awesome. Oh, you're muted, Ichthus. We can't hear you.
I don't know how the heck that happened. God. Okay.
What you doing?
All right. What you doing, bro? This is your show, but still. All right, Nick. I know we had you chatting and everything, but I gotta give you an introduction again. So this is a guy where you got to keep your focus on because he's going to places, man. I would not be surprised if, Antarctic Press would approach him just to get Demon Hunter Raven and just try to put him on the, our local comic shop, or even, heck, maybe even like going to like a brick and mortar store because Demon Hunter.
It is. It's just not the Antarctic.
Okay.
I don't have a deal with them. I got to deal with Savage Sandbox, which is up and coming.
Oh,
see
man.
how that goes.
All right. We'll see how that goes.
I'm waiting to hear more details. Yeah, soon. Probably this summer I'll be able to fully reveal every little detail, but I don't know. I'm still waiting.
Yeah. All right, guys. So just give him a listen, guys. So, Nick, you have the floor. You have the right to shill however you want to do it, dude.
All right. Obviously, I'm the creator of Demon Hunter Raven. I'll keep it short and simple. We're running a campaign right now that you can get Chapter 3 and past collections on this wonderful campaign. Tonight, it was really brought to you by Ikvis and Paul. They were really wonderful to have come on here and kind of talk more about the creations and to watch Ikvis come and color one of these new characters that you're going to be able to get in the deluxe version. You're going to get a debut new character that's going to be coming out again later once we get all the stuff put together. But it was wonderful hanging out with all you guys tonight. We got to do this again. I think this was just a joy and fun to have. And, I hope you back it because after this, I will give you guys an insider trade. Prices go up after this. I'm giving some Kickstarter prices, like that $25 won't be $25 after the stream after the campaign's done. So jump on it now. I like to give you guys a little bit more leeway than I do on my own Gumroad and stuff like that. So jump on it now is all I can say. And I'm a dad of 5, so I'm always tired. I repeat myself several times, so you'll have to excuse me. But yeah, thank you guys, everyone, for coming on here. And I think this was really good turnout for just Sunchild in general. And you guys get to see what Paul brings to the table. I've been really lucky to see what he has been able to do. And I think it's just a shame that he doesn't have anything out yet. I know he's working on something, but let's keep an eye on him. He's going to be a breakout hit, and I think you guys are in for a real treat. He's got a technical mastery that you don't find in a lot of people. And Ikvis coloring job tonight, that is a huge improvement from what I've seen from a year ago. You have definitely built up yourself to be competing with a lot more people, and I can definitely say it will be coming back. So again, everyone, just thank you. I really enjoy coming on here and just hanging out with you guys. Even when I'm in the chat, this is a really great community. That's all I got to say for now. So just thank you again, everyone.
Yeah, no, dudes. Thank you guys for coming and, just a mere fact that I get to have you guys on this panel and just promote this, man. I was like, freaking finally, I get to hang out with these guys now. Only talk to you guys on Twitter.
Right? This is like our first time talking.
Yeah. No, and it's always a funny thing, guys. Like, it's always been a mission just try to get like Paul in these live streams too. But this is a huge blessing, guys. You have no freaking idea. This is literally.
Right. This is my first.
It is your first.
This is his first, man. It's documented now.
We got it.
We got him. So, oh shoot, we got Pops in the house.
Pops, the man is here.
What is up, sir? What is up, Total Excellence? I'm doing excellence, Pops. So, dudes, relating to Pops, guys, I'm going to enlarge myself for one moment. So, just to update you guys on what I'm doing over the weekend, I'm going to go to CromCon 11. I already set my time and everything with Pops. All that's left now is just getting the link just to join in. I believe it's 3 o'clock on Saturday. Pops will know better than I have because, I'm just... This week has been insane. I never even knew I was going to be bombarded with doing live streams like week after week. I always do only Sundays, but this has been like the most productive week I have for a while. But yeah, dudes. And also I'm going to be going to jump on another show. I got to reach out to that dude who booked it for me because I know he told me it's going to be the end of this month, so I'm not sure if maybe I can try to scooch it on over to a Saturday, and we'll do it at nighttime on his Twitch stream. But I'm pretty excited, guys. I'm honestly excited. So just keep your eyes on me. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm gonna be shilling out links and everything. Or even if you're on Discord, I'll be shilling out links and everything. It's just right now I've been bad at promoting because I've been just getting everything ready to get, just to set this live streams going. So I'm just very excited on my end, just not within my growth as just not only like an up and coming comic book enthusiast or artist, but somebody that is trying to learn and grow and have a community building around me and something that's healthy and not so toxic. And I take great pride with that. I really do. I love you guys so much. Like, you guys have no idea. Even this chat right now, guys. Um, you guys make this channel so awesome, and I cannot thank you guys enough. So, guys, thank you all so much. I'm happy. I don't even care if I don't even have like thousands of freaking subs. 77 to me, it's just mind-boggling. So, guys, thank you all so much. Thank you all who've been here since the beginning. Thank you all who just jumped in now or mid-section to the live stream. But you guys are so awesome. Thank you all so much. Remember, dudes, you all ooze of excellence as always, guys. God bless. Have an awesome weekend, guys.
Later, friends.